Hi, hello, and welcome. This is Bottom of the Barrel Morning Show here on Radio Free Brooklyn. We are coming to you live from the heart of Bushwick, Brooklyn, in the Radio Free studio. We're joined this morning with my one and only trusty, valiant,
there it is,
and pestilential
versus just pestilent.
Causing annoyance.
Okay.
Co-host Grant Moore.
Okay, that's where pest comes from.
We have our oh yeah, that's a good point. We have our guest in studio, the one and only Vishal Kal.
Whoa!
Yes.
Vishal.
A very
Welcome.
finite name.
Yes.
Welcome.
Well, almost infinite. That last name.
Almost infinite.
I saw something the other day. They were like, oh no, it was a roast joke on like a fat guy, and he had a really long last name. They're like, his last name would have been longer, but he ate the rest of it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so good.
That's a great. Any roast thing is just for a fact. Being fat in a roast, I think, is almost as hard of an entry as being black.
Yeah.
And if you're fat and black
lady
in a roast,
dude,
the world is over for you.
I'm roasting a fat black guy tonight, and I haven't written any jokes. So if you guys want to do that,
you have come.
I'm just gonna take that last name one. It seems reusable.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I did. I roasted Gabby Gordon Brown, who's lovely and is not morbidly obese. But she's thicker than me, so every single thing was a fat joke.
That's
did
so
you
funny.
get a dub?
Other than one Israel-Palestine joke that almost had nothing to do with her. Actually, I'm going to say this joke because this is one of my favorite jokes.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
I'm going to fuck up the language a little bit, but it was like on December 12th in December of 2012, Benjamin Netanyahu told a prominent Israeli reporter that he needed to boost Hamas in order to lessen the likelihood that he would be pressured to push for independent Palestinian state. He also said that Gabby's pussy stinks.
Nice.
Yeah. So any way I could get that fact in.
Yeah, because you're drawn in so much.
Yeah.
What else?
And there were some NJBs in the front, some nice Jewish boys.
Yeah.
And they were cackling. They were like smacking the table. So I went across the aisle for that one.
Yeah.
Did you win?
Yeah, I won.
Oh, good.
That was at New York Comedy Club.
That was Grove. I only went at Grove.
You only went at
5
Grove.
jokes, perfect.
Yeah.
13 jokes, fuck me in the ass.
13 jokes is so is Comedy Fight Club.
No, Grove 34.
Oh, they have the roasted.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm doing Comedy Fight Club soon, and I'm very worried
Is that the one at the stand?
No,
New York
it's
Comedy
at Bowery Electric or something.
No, yeah, is it there now? Oh, it doesn't matter. But
They change venues, but
I
I'm
keep getting kicked out of venues.
I'm roasting Dane Rothenberg, and I don't know. I have written 0 jokes so far.
Is that the kind of like lanky dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he has a character called Mr. Bitch. And it's just so funny.
Okay.
He just goes up on stage, introduced as Mr. Bitch.
Right.
And that you can't, it's like, how do you roast someone who is so like ridiculous already that any joke you're going to do is just like, yeah, we know. That's nowhere near as ridiculous as he makes himself.
Yeah. Well, you could play on that. Like like make up that he's normal and boring.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a shtick.
Yeah.
But you just got to write jokes about what he looks like.
Yeah.
Anytime you try and think of like something creative in a roast, they'll just come back with "you look like this," and it's destroyed.
Yeah.
It's very simple bullying.
Regular
all
lanky
roast is.
white guy. What do you got against him?
Right off the top of my head, Candlestick.
He's a little methy looking, maybe.
Yeah,
there you
Like
go.
has like cocaine.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Now we're getting
Like
there.
a
Maybe
methy
cornering people. Oh, meth vampire.
Yeah.
I like that. I was gonna say he looks like he corners people for business ideas at a party, but that's like tropey and it's not
It
great.
looks like he corners
Trophy
kids at a
stuff works
science
great,
fair.
though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I feel like every time I do a roast, everyone just roasts me for being Indian, and I'm like, and it crushes, and I'm like, there's more to me, but I guess that is what it is, you know?
But that's what
not
they
in the
want.
eyes of the people.
Not in the eyes of the people, no.
In the eyes of the audience who just got there, you're just an Indian.
Yeah, I
I'm just
know.
a white guy, so it's like I'm racist and you're Indian. Which is funny that those are equivalents. We have not made as much progress in this
Those
country
stack
as we
on
think.
top of each other.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where it seems like roast is like one of the last platforms you get to get away with just being outwardly racist.
That's what I like about
which
it.
is it's kind of like the loophole for that stuff.
Yeah. Well, also that whole audience too, like the Skank Fest audience too. I feel like even the material there, you could like be kind of like that. So I guess it's the intersection of that audience plus like they like roast stuff too anyway.
Yeah.
Well, people have agreed. They've agreed we're about to see people say as mean of shit as possible.
Exactly.
If only they could agree like we're about to step into a comedy club to see comedy where people will say ridiculous things.
Yeah.
But then like comedians have done this whole thing where they're like, oh, we're like truth tellers and philosophers too. So then
that's bullshit though.
I know. I hate it. I hate it. But that's like the Dave Chappelle's of the world who are like, oh, I should be able to say jokes.
He's just gotten so much hot steam shot up his asshole.
Yeah.
That he's not even on the earth anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
there is a weird thing about opening your own comedy club and doing an hour at it weekly, which I guess is cool, but it's also like
that's what Earthquake did.
That's what I'm worried about. That's why I like being in New York is like nothing here is ever going to be yours.
Yeah.
You're always going to run into someone who doesn't like you. No matter what.
Yeah, but you could do that anywhere.
I feel like if you're in
it's more extreme here,
whatever, Ohio or some like, and you live there and everybody knows you live there, then it's like you're kind of doing comedy for your friends. It's like your audience.
Sometimes I think that's the hardest people to do comedy for.
You think so?
When I go up with like written material in front of people who know me, always Stinktown, USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, why are you putting on this act or whatever?
Yeah, we know that this is a facade, but it's like, no, this is what I have to sell to strangers.
Right.
This is the thing I'm trying to hone into, like, I guess a character in a way.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I don't know. That's why, like, whenever I like write on stage at a mic, it always is fun. And then I try to do that. I mean, you saw me freak out.
That was so funny. Dude.
I had a mental breakdown at the last session. Like,
where? Or what happened?
I just like I had all these bits that like were like actual jokes and they stunk, and then I just was like, this sucks. And I started talking about my lack of confidence despite being so white and tall.
Do you think that would make a bit? Like,
I think that,
bit?
But I think I just realized like maybe what I need to try to do is like kind of flood, like writing for me, I'm going to try is like just flooding my subconscious with like ideas beforehand.
Yeah.
And just little strings of thought.
Yeah.
And then letting them clash together on stage.
Yeah. What I've been doing more lately is like, if I write something out like word for word, it just comes out very written and it doesn't come out very well. But if I have the idea in my head.
Yeah, if you get there naturally. But the thing is with that I just have to accept, that we both had to accept is just bomb city for a long time of when that becomes what is it called? Like reproducible.
Yeah.
You know?
And
like the bit itself or like the energy?
The bit itself.
Yeah,
I think the bit itself first, and eventually that becomes the energy, because you see really great comics come up and they can bring energy.
Yeah.
But I think trudging through the bit gives you the like when you first have a bit and it sucks, it's like you keep working on it until eventually there's a flip where it's like, okay, this is kind of working now.
Yeah.
And I think the same goes for like your stage presence.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I got to figure out what it is about me that people like or attach to or are interested in. And that takes even longer, I think.
Yeah. I think the more I've done it though, the more I'm like, it's not worth like actively trying to think about it. And you just end up just doing it and you stumble into it. But like trying to put effort into figuring it out, I feel like it really makes me overthink it. Yeah. Like your voice, what you're saying, like the energy, the character, the stage.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's like most things in life is like you can obsess about it to a certain extent, and then you realize that like your obsession can only take you to a certain technical standpoint before you kind of have to let go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm really socially weird in that I can be on fire, and then I can be like, I might mace that guy. Like I can make people very uncomfortable because I overthink things. And then the only way that I'm ever like actually fun time is when it's just like, I don't give a fuck. Like you got to just take this or leave this.
Absolutely.
It's like most things. Like the cliche is typically like correct of like you got to just be yourself and people won't like you and that's fine.
Absolutely, dude. I was just thinking on my way over here. I have a show tonight, and I had a show last week too, like 2 Sunday shows. And like tonight, like the stakes aren't super high, and I just feel like I know I'm going to go in and I'm going to do great because I don't care about the outcome. Whereas last week I put a lot of pressure on the show. It's a similar thing. Yeah. And because of that, I did worse. But it's weird because you want to do better, you end up doing worse. And it's like, you got to just let go of what people.
Yeah.
The
I think there's a balance though, right? Because if you don't care at all, people can read that.
Yeah.
It's like a very weird Central's. There's a great book called Musashi. It's like the
Great restaurant.
What?
That's a restaurant in Oklahoma. Musashi. Sorry, continue.
Oh, shout out to Musashi.
Musashi's.
There's a restaurant in Oklahoma named after Miyamoto Musashi. That's insane.
Dude,
but anyway, it's a really good book. But he talks about so he's like the greatest samurai of all time.
Whoa.
And it's a historical fiction written about his life. But Miyamoto Musashi was a real guy. He wrote the Book of Five Rings, and there's this thing where he's like meeting this lady of the night. She's like the best madam in all of Japan. She's very famous.
Greatness meets greatness.
Yeah, great. Yeah, real recognized real. And she breaks open a lute and shows him like the inside of the instrument has this like piece of wood in the middle that if it's too tight, it doesn't make the right sounds and it can break. But if it's too loose, it doesn't make the right sounds and it's all floopy. So she's like, you have to be that balance of tight and.
And she was talking about her.
She's talking about her twang. She's talking about her strange.
I have the perfect amount of.
Damn, I was going to say that was such a poetic reference to bring in Grant, and then you come in
and then
with
I slandered it. Yeah,
no, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. Just
so
make it dirty.
Yeah, but that is true. I have. Because you know what at least the problem I've been running into is when I am loose, I stink, is that my brain, I don't know, my brain just doesn't work on stage. Or I don't have like a direction to go in, like, because I'm like not mean and I'm not always super self-deprecating. And it's just like, I'm kind of just like in between, which is like, I think you got to lean into something.
You don't got to do anything you don't want to do, you know?
Yeah.
For real.
Even if those things are jokes. On stage.
You don't have to do jokes.
Yeah, even if
this
it's
is
being
comedy.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is comedy. You do not have to be funny. That's for sure.
It's funny. There's a restaurant called Musashi
in
Oklahoma because I learned this week in Montana there was a sushi restaurant called Dave's Sushi that killed a woman because she got like food poisoning from it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, of course it would be a Dave's Sushi in Montana, dude.
He's like, this isn't what sushi is?
You guys don't remember that documentary, Dave Dreams of Sushi?
There's been a bunch of those where it's like just because in Montana I assume that there's a huge lack of sushi.
Yeah,
so you think Dave was just like I love sushi so much I want the people to have this.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he went to Japan.
Or you think he had sushi? He's like, God damn, this is poison.
There was a guy who like likes anime and like has like a what is it called? The little ponytail that's too high on your head.
Yeah, man bun.
And he was like, I'm going to make an investment in this community.
With sushi. I don't know. I like it. But there was a while I remember I read a story about someone in like Portland who was getting just raked over the coals because they opened a Mexican restaurant using like the recipe from some place in Mexico or something. Or it was like the same style.
Yeah.
And everyone in Portland got super mad. And I'm like,
isn't that good?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. This is the thing about, isn't a lot like all culture appropriated? Like, isn't it all built on the things that come before and around it?
Exactly.
So it's like people in Portland don't want some good Mexican food.
Yeah.
What, you want them to steal a Mexican recipe from Poland?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to steal it from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't get like they stole it. Like,
I
what do
don't
they
know.
want? Like people get mad at Chipotle, and then people get mad at like Mexican food. Like, what do they want?
They want to get mad.
Yeah, they just want to get mad.
Yeah.
It's like they want like a Mexican lady to serve them Mexican food, which almost seems
Which is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like no white guy should be serving me Mexican food. Only immigrants from Mexico can come here and serve me food. That sounds so elitist.
Yeah, or very unxenophobic.
Unxenophobic.
Yeah, because you're trying to get more people here
Yeah.
to work also the jobs that you don't want to work.
Yeah, that is the circle of wokeness to racism. Somehow it just ends up being the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Everything is like an Ouroboros. It's all a tail,
Yeah.
a snake eating its own tail.
Just some way you end up becoming discriminatory against someone.
I have a question.
Yes.
Who is your audience? Is it comedians? Who are these people?
I have zero
I think
audience.
it's Barb, my mom Barb.
Oh, you're talking about for this radio show?
Yeah.
You know, it's a mix. There's a built-in Radio Free Brooklyn audience, so I assume that it is people who actually have great taste in music. They're very like pro-local shows and things like that.
I love the flattery up top.
Grant's mom is definitely in there.
Barb.
A few of our Instagram users tune in. Some of my Oklahoma friends tune in.
Oh, sick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a couple. We got a little bit of an audience, and then no one, and then the vast void of outside of those 12 people.
Yeah. Wait, don't you have a podcast with who's Lord
Serby.
Make Me Small? Serby?
Oh,
Isn't it
we used to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? Maybe we don't want to discuss that.
We went through a breakup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Went through a
She told us it was like #1 comedy podcast in India for a little bit.
For like a little bit.
Which is absurd if you consider
all
how many
because of me,
people-
dude. All because of me.
Oh yeah, no, I have full
Yeah,
faith.
Let it be known.
probably you
We
did.
all know it wasn't because of her.
But no, dude, the guys in the comments let her know it's because of
it's
her.
because of her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, then it became because of her. Yeah.
yeah, dude. There's
People would just be like,
Indian Romeos, are the
So
best,
beautiful.
dude.
just talking about her breasts the whole time.
Charm
Just
fest
like-
in the comments. Yeah. Okay. So because that's one of the funny things about like being on the internet is like you could have, however many thousand followers, and none of them are actually near you to like come watch your shows.
Yeah. I think my audience is like a little bit less than half in America.
That's good.
Yeah.
The other half,
Well,
the other majority, India.
it's like 20% India, and then like the rest is like MISC, maybe like some percent the UK and Canada, and then it like trickles down.
Yeah.
But like still less than half in the US is like kind of smaller than I would prefer. But I guess
But I would have expected. I mean, that seems like a reasonable one for me, just because of how the popular you guys were in India.
yeah, I guess.
Also,
so.
yeah, you're on a Netflix show, so that's shown everywhere.
Yeah, I guess so. But I got like no followers from that, so all my followers have been like recent from
Yeah.
like the tech stuff, I guess. So
Are
it's
you
just-
tired of talking about that? Because I've never talked to you about that once. I'd like to hear about it.
Absolutely, dude. I'm
Really?
like running out of ideas too, because like I like don't have a job right now, and I'm like making shit up off the top of my head lately. I'm like,
I
I
think
think this is relatable.
Grant's asking you about the Netflix show.
Oh yeah, what were you talking about?
I was talking about tech stuff.
Oh,
What
no,
were
I
you
don't give
talking
a
about?
fuck about that.
Oh yeah,
No.
neither do I. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck about any of this stuff.
Yeah, it's your job. Why would you care?
Well, I don't have a job. That's the thing.
Well, it was your job.
Yeah, it was
It's
my
your
job.
field. Yeah.
Once upon a time.
Wait. So the question was,
Well, yeah. Like, what was the experience? Like, how did you get on that
oh,
matchmaking show?
Did you ask me if I was tired of talking about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay. That's kind of too bad because we had 2 hours.
Yeah.
to
He's,
fill.
he's tired
I
of
don't even know
talking.
why I asked you. I
like
don't
that.
care.
Yeah, you're right.
You're gonna talk
I
about
have
it.
to talk about it.
Or
Vishal
get
is
the
tired of
podcast
talking.
done.
He's talking about everything that is worth talking about.
yeah. Oh, I guess we can talk about your childhood.
Oh, bro. All right. Let's get after that.
No. The Netflix show, please.
Did you get paid for the Netflix show?
No.
That's kind of horseshit.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Comedy Central presented you. You got paid
Right?
an exposure.
You got paid.
That's literally in the contract. They say that whatever agrees that they're going to be paid an exposure, and I got zero exposure.
Yeah.
By the way,
But
which is
Seema Auntie's getting paid for sure.
Seema, yeah, dude, she's floating. She's rich as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you think we could start a matchmaking service?
I've thought about it, dude. I honestly think like it's that thing of like I feel like I probably am not like good with women, but like I know how to like help my boys out.
Yeah.
I think we could do it, dude.
We should start a South Asian matchmaking service in New York City.
Yeah.
And Grant.
Yeah. Grant,
And Grant's included also.
Grant, do you like
South Asian plus Grant?
do you like a little garam masala, Grant?
I think I've tasted it once.
Yeah.
And it was an enjoyable experience. And I don't feel like I could say anything otherwise in this current setting, to be honest with you.
Or what? Barb will get upset.
Yeah, my mom's gonna.
Otherwise, he's going to have a bunch of angry Indian guys at his door like, how dare you bastard man.
Only if you tag Serby, dude.
I think with how much I do the Indian accent, sorry,
Accident.
I'm having a stroke. With how much I do the Indian accent, I probably will never be, but because I can't give that up. But no, I'm very undiscriminatory when it comes to people pleasing.
Good
think you
adjective. Add it
should.
to the list.
Yeah.
Undiscriminatory?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that is an adjective.
Indiscriminate. Yeah.
Indiscriminate would be the proper.
I do think it's good to try everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to try it. You got to be open to trying everything.
Everything. Yes. Yeah.
Everything. Dudes included.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. I guess if South Asian would include like Vietnam and Thai. Or
no, that's Southeast, I think.
Oh,
They're more
South Asian is Pakistan, India,
Bangladesh,
Bangladesh.
Nepal, I guess.
Nepal, yeah.
Ooh, Nepal.
What's
And
Afghanistan?
Sri Lanka,
Afghanistan?
maybe?
Yeah, is Afghanistan Middle East or?
I'd say Middle East, yeah.
I really hit the
Pakistan's
George
really
Bush.
on the border right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
The terrorists. Dude,
Nuclear.
one of the first
pretty good,
bits
actually.
I ever remember seeing was, I think it was Mo Amer, and he was just like, how comes George Bush calls them terrorists? He's like, that's
Terrorists?
something you stand on.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
we got to go get the terrorists. He's like, such a good bit. He's like, there's a terrorist on the terrace, and we got to take him out. So, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It is. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute.
I saw Mo Amer in like 2000, probably like 4.
Oh, wow. You've
Yeah.
been doing comedies that long?
Yeah, I'm pretty
How
sure
old is
he was.
he?
I own a DVD called Allah Made Me Funny, and it's Mo Amer, a guy named Preacher Moss, and one other, Ahmed, I think, is the other guy's
Did
name.
you ever see the Axis of Evil comedy tour?
Who was that again? Was that Jeff
Dave
Dunham?
Attell. No. It was Dave Attell, and then a couple other guys who I don't even
Arab
know.
guys?
Yeah, all Arab
Nice.
guys.
Dude, we got to bring back like comedy tours like that, dude. That was
I think they're coming back because I think people are doing less things alone now. I think
Yeah.
we're in a
Yeah.
collaborative stage
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's so everyone wants to do 1,000 things. Like everybody wants to be a comedian, a content creator, and a fucking like director, and
Mhm.
also have abs. And so the way to do that is by spreading things out and doing
Yeah.
it with your friends and collaborating.
Do you think people actually want to be content creators?
I
I feel
think
like nobody actually does.
all anybody really wants is to be famous
Yeah.
for the most part. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody really wants to be a comedian for the most part. I don't think anybody really wants to be an actor. I think they just
Yeah.
want to be famous.
I would push back on that. I would say like once you get, I think me personally, I think growing up younger, I wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
Then you do it for a little while and you're like, that's never going to happen. So I have to find a way to like love the process. Well,
That's
it's true.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think
I'm really
I think you
passed
can
on.
get there.
Yeah.
For sure. I think you like crack into because you pick the one that you think you're going to be the best at.
Yeah.
And if you really work at it, if you work at anything, you eventually get like rewards and fulfillment from it, right?
But
Whether it's
even then,
plumbing or
yeah,
comedy.
rewards and fulfillment doesn't mean you're going to get famous. You know, probably the funniest, best
Right.
person in comedy ever is not
Yeah.
famous. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And you're probably right. Like, but the initial thing is just fame. Whereas, like, I think
I would say
a
so,
lot of
yeah.
people, the initial thing was the craft. You know, was
Yeah.
like the jokes.
I think as a kid you want the fame. I think the idea of being famous just seems cool because you're, like flying around, everybody loves you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have like
yeah.
the hottest
Well,
model.
the kid, you want the love, you want the validation.
Yeah.
But
no,
the
I wanted
fame
the
is a
model.
different
Yeah,
thing.
that was the main thing.
But then I don't know. At this point, I don't know. I guess my thought is like I would love to just be like a late night seller comedian. I think that's like that's the ultimate form of comedy.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you get there? And like
Like
it
a Greer
seems like
Barnes, like a little underground almost, but like doing that.
I
every
would
night.
love to have a Greer Barnes.
Yeah.
That would be an amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to be someone who like you have to see them live.
You have to
he's
see
so
them live.
fucking amazing.
And you walk in anywhere and people are like, oh shit. It's more like the respect from the other comedians in that sense.
Prestige,
Yeah,
yes.
where they're just like, dude, he's one of the guys. He's
Yeah.
one of the New York comedians, like a staple in the society, like the community.
Is that what you want too, Grant?
Yeah. I mean, I really just like I just want to be good at anything almost. But comedy is the thing I
Facts.
think I could be good at.
But like you wouldn't like care to be like a touring headliner. You'd like be like late night. seller
Honestly, that
comedian
sounds
guy.
miserable to me. Like being on the road,
Yeah.
it's something I'll have to do, and I want to. I've done it a little bit, and it was okay. I was with people that were fine, but the idea of that being most of my year
Yeah.
sounds horrible. Like
Yeah.
I really want kids, and I
Yeah.
really want like a family, and that's just I guess you can make it work, but I think I don't want to miss out on a lot of like important things.
That makes a lot of sense.
But that's something that's happened from doing it, right? Because if you would have asked me like 2 years ago, I would have been like, no, I need to be the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
I think that now that I know that what that will take is maybe not something that I want for the rest of my life
Yeah.
to be encapsulated by, it's like, I don't know.
This is similar to the point about fame. It's like, yeah, when you're not doing it, you have this idea of what you want. And then as
Yeah.
you do it more and more,
Yeah.
that becomes more tempered and realistic.
Right. Or maybe we've just constructed philosophies for the fact that we've accepted we're losers.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah.
This is how we'll survive with our giving up.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have some sort of realistic expectations, at least I think like timeline wise.
Yeah. And talent wise, like you can observe other
Yeah.
people, how hard they work,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how naturally they work that hard and
Yeah.
their baseline talent, and go,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if I have that. Can I really change to the level that would take to outpace that person
Yeah.
who genuinely loves doing 40 mics a week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who are you thinking of? Like,
Okay, like Mike McParland would be a good example. He's got such a strict regimented schedule. He never misses them. He's
such a good writer.
He's a great writer.
Yeah.
He writes all the
Very
time.
funny.
And it's like, yeah, that's just a guy who like, will I outwork him sometime? Yeah. Like
Yeah.
there will be a week or a month span, but over the course of time, will I work as hard as Mike Parlin? I don't know.
Yeah.
Friend of the
think so.
show.
Friend of the
Mike
show.
McParland.
Friend of the show. Okay.
So that's a good one. I don't know. I think my energy comes in bursts, which I think is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's also
Not
like
bad, but it's just consistency is a little bit better for
yeah.
our thing where you need to be in people's frontal lobe for when they're booking shows.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Did being on Netflix like fill up your calendar for a short amount of time?
With shows?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I'm telling you, this was a universally negative experience, I think.
Dude, I feel like that's not true. I feel like after you were on the show, I saw you getting booked a lot.
No, I mean, maybe if only from me doing, comedy and maybe, from being in people's minds. But like, yeah, what period was this?
When the show got released, I feel like at least all the like Brown shows, they're always like, got to get Vishal.
Oh, yeah, maybe like 3 shows, like 3 Brown shows. Sure. But
one of them's at the Stand.
One of them is, well, that's the
you're
one
talking about Brown Mirror?
Brown Mirror.
That I did a year and a half later, and that did not come from that. That's because I booked Bassam on my show, probably.
Oh, okay. Well,
Cut that. Or
well,
don't flip it.
well, there you go. We're live, baby.
We're live.
Well,
and Bassam's listening. He texts me, man.
I love Bassam, but
Yeah, he's great. But you don't think that like that kind of like, okay, if you were to be like, who are the Brown comedians in New York? I feel like your name would be in the top 5.
not in terms of talent, but maybe in terms of top of mind. Yeah.
As far as
I'm being realistic.
as far as credentials go,
What?
as far as credentials go,
Yeah, maybe, but like I don't. Yeah, sure.
I feel like you're avoiding the compliment that you have been on Netflix.
Well, I guess I don't take it as a compliment because to me, I don't know. I like I said, I look at that experience so like negatively.
Why? Like, what was so bad about it? Other than not getting like the like maybe the bump into the next level that you might have expected from that credit. Like, what was it? Was the actual going through of the experience negative?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Why was the girl mean?
No, I mean it was fine. I think it was more of like the way the actual what happened itself was like one thing, and then when it came out, and then it got edited and flipped another way.
Yeah.
And then I had to like deal with like people in the Brown community kind of having an opinion about me. And
did you get bad guy mode?
Did I what?
Did you get, because it's a reality TV. Can you just give the background for the show?
Yes. Okay. So what actually happened was, well, I can start from like how I got on it too.
Well, like, what's the premise of the show? I know it's Indian
the premise of the show.
matchmaking is pretty straightforward, but
yeah, the premise of the show is, there's this matchmaker lady, and she like sets, Indian people up, whatever.
Yeah, for like arranged marriages, or
But
yeah,
it's also like a very traditional South Asian culture thing. Is like arranged marriages.
Yes.
So this lady's like the most famous matchmaker.
Now she is,
in the community. Yeah,
Okay.
now she is at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So, I was like scouring backstage. This is when I lived in California. I was like scouring backstage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw this application for like a reality show that was like, hey, we're looking for Indian singles that want to be match made on a TV show, but we're not going to tell you the name of the show. It's like, I have a good idea what the show is. I can guess. And then I like signed up for it, did some interviews. It was cool. And then I moved that to New York. This was when I was in California. So I moved that to New York, and they're like, hey, we're doing like a mixer, come out. And I didn't know it was going to be filmed. I literally just thought it was like a pre-mixer for the thing. I go to the mixer. There's some people who were on season 1 of the show. There's some new people. I go to this thing. This girl who was on season 1, like kind of like flirts with me. We end up like hooking up. We go on a couple days. We start dating for a few weeks. Meanwhile, they're like wrapping up a storyline from season 1 from this guy that she dated, theoretically, but like, and then, we end up breaking up. We dated for like 3-4 weeks. And then she was like really upset when we broke up. I broke up with her like 3 or 4 times. And then
You broke up with her 3 or 4 times.
I broke up with her like 3 times over FaceTime. And then she was in LA for a little bit. And I told production, I was like, hey, we broke up. And they were like, can you do it on camera? Can you do it again? And I was like, that sounds like a bad idea. And they're like, well, if you don't do it, you're not going to be able to tell your side of the story. I was like, that is the most mafia shit ever.
Yeah.
And so they flew me out to LA. I had to break up with her again on camera for like 3 hours, 1 hour for every week we were together.
Yeah.
And then
that's a very long breakup
Yeah.
for 3 weeks.
yeah.
And she wasn't excited about it, even though she'd
No.
already been broken up with.
She wasn't
Yeah.
excited about being filmed, dumped.
No, yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't excited to do it either.
No, I mean, of course, nothing about that.
Vishal,
sounds
you know what you
exciting.
missed, though, is you didn't lean into the heel. You should have,
Yeah.
when you saw that, started tweeting some crazy shit. You should have been like, you should have become the Indian bad guy.
I should have.
Yeah, why
Yeah, you
not?
should have been my manager at that point in time, dude.
I think leaning into the heel is one of the best marketing moves anyone can do.
Like the shake from Love Is Blind thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, I was trying to be like, I was trying to damage control too much, you know? I was trying to be the nice guy.
You're trying to be the nice guy. You should have been like,
And it worked out worse.
you should have been like, Seema Auntie set me up. Seema Auntie's a manipulating. You just started throwing out crazy accusations.
Dude, I really talked no shit about it. Yeah, I was like, I want to be respectful of the girl and the whatever, and I'm like, not going to talk about
Well,
it.
now's your chance here on Radio Free Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Then the show came out, and then they made it seem like she and this other guy were still dating, and then that I like stole her from him. Which, you know me, I have no riz. She came on to me,
Uh-huh.
and then it was like and then I like dumped her, and then people were like, this fucking guy, whatever, and then yeah.
So you also was this your first time experiencing the like weight of like internet shame and trolling?
Yeah, so I mean,
That
to
has
to
to
bring it all
suck
back
so
to like
bad.
fame and
Yeah.
stuff, that's kind of the negative side of it. And sometimes, you know, since then I'll like walk into like, especially Brown situations, like most people like know who I am,
Right.
And I don't like it because like I don't know what preconceived notions they have of me, and a lot of times, you know,
Yeah.
people will be nice to your face, and you know when they see you, but like not have a nice thought about you in their head, and
Right.
so.
And they've
Yeah.
developed that from collectively 25 minutes of you being on a TV show.
Sure. Yeah. If
Right.
if that.
Can
and
I
then
ask about the mixer?
yeah.
You hooked up with her at the mixer?
Yeah. I was risen pretty
Was
hard.
everyone?
We were pretty drunk though. We were pretty drunk and it was late in the night. We just kissed. Yeah.
Okay. Was everyone at the mixer kind of like feeling each other out, or was this mixer
Yeah.
where you got this? Everyone was like, "Oh."
Everybody
that.
else was sober.
Yeah.
Was it like everybody at the mixer was hooking up, or this just so happened to happen?
They weren't like hooking up on the spot. It was actually after the mixer that we hooked up. So that we like a couple people stayed and we went to a bar across the street and kept it going.
In,
But like the production kept buying us drinks. So they wanted stuff like that to happen.
even afterwards?
Not afterwards. No. Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
in New York or LA?
It was in Jersey City.
That's so.
So Indian.
Indian.
Yeah.
Well, is that because Jersey has like the largest outside of like the Taj Mahal or something? like the largest. I don't even know what it's called. Indian structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
there's-
is
Oh yeah, the temple.
The
The temple. I thought you were making a joke about the population.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
No, the temple is what I was
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
But that
the
probably
complex.
comes from the population.
Right, yeah. No, I gotta go check it
yeah.
out.
It has like one
Dude,
of the
I want to
highest.
check it out.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We can vlog it.
Yeah.
Grant's like, what happens when a white guy enters an Indian temple? Some guy just starts throwing.
Can't wait to find out.
Throwing rocks at him.
Hopefully, a bunch of arranged marriages.
Yeah.
gotta-
Just
you-
that one white guy.
You got to have a perfect like Hindi accent and go in there and blow brown people's
I'll have to
minds.
warm my neck up, dude. I'll have to do some neck exercises so I can do the head wobble.
That's so funny.
Is that all of India, or is that just one part of India that does the kind of back
I
and
think
forth thing?
it's like a common Indian thing. It means like it's like a little exaggerated, but it's like, oh yeah, you know, that means like yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a shared mannerism of like
Yeah,
so-so.
yeah. I wonder how that develops, like you know, culture like that, you know.
I think
like,
it's the same thing as a head shake. You know, like
Yeah.
here, like
ain't that the truth?
ain't that?
Yeah, like mine
I love
is
saying
pursed
that
lips,
too.
and I go,
yeah, the
Uh,
pursed lips thing.
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? I think it's
Yeah.
the same.
yeah, it's the same thing. It's
just
just
some-
different.
Because when you
colors.
see an Indian guy do that, you know what he's doing. Like it's like a body language thing. Like you kind of understand.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
well, it's contextual, right? It's like because it doesn't
Right.
it doesn't always mean yes or no. It's like sometimes it's like a yeah, okay, that sounds fun. Or
Yeah.
sometimes it's like a
Sometimes it's like,
I
wow.
don't know about that. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
probably not doing it right, but that's
No,
my
it's-
understanding
yeah.
of it.
It's like, oh, that's so good, you know, and your head starts. You're like, oh wow, this is wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. The other Indian matchmaking question I had was, Did they ever reach out post for you to do like a wrap up show?
No, I don't think
They never wanted you back for season 2.
The season 3. No, they didn't want me back.
Damn, they didn't get. They
didn't give me the redemption arc.
They should have given you a redemption arc.
Yeah,
Sons of bitches.
I don't know if that show's still going on. Actually, I haven't heard about like a new season or whatever. But they did the Jewish matchmaking thing. I should get on that. I know you're not Jewish, but
dude, I get. Well, accused isn't the right word, but I get asked all the time. And not just by like the Hasids on the street who like go up to everybody. And, but it's a joke back home on my rugby team is like they were like we'll pay for your 23andMe to find out if you're like Sephardic.
Whoa.
And it's just an ongoing because all I do is like complain and like I guess I have a little.
It's
bit
a Jewish thing to be a comedian, you know.
Yeah, that too is that as well.
I like whenever those Hasidic guys ask me.
Really?
Is that weird? They're like, "Are you Jewish?" I'm like, "No," but I'm glad they asked.
I've never been asked.
Wow. Oh, really?
Yeah, you think you got some of that?
They see the nose.
Yeah.
That guy
I always go, no, but I could be convinced. And I try to have sex with them. Doesn't work out. Although I guess a lot of those guys are not a lot, but I've heard that there's some closetedness in that community. Of course, it's like any place, but it's such a repressed.
Right. Yeah, I've heard stories of like them, like, you know, like secretly, like the dudes like going out and like hitting on women and getting super drunk and like,
absolutely,
dude. It's like that's a intense thing to be basically Amish in the most metropolitan city in America.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so hard.
Yeah,
like you literally you're not using electricity for a full day, and you're looking at like the Empire State Building lit up.
Yeah,
in the background.
And are you allowed to look? I don't know.
You have to wear eclipse glasses. Around your house.
It's just so available right there.
So what was it like, because how often are you being filmed? Because I guess there's this very weird thing about reality shows to me where like I have an acquaintance back home who she worked on reality shows for like a lot of her life. Like,
what kind of shows? Like dating shows?
Trashy shows. Yeah. Like Bad Girls Club. Have you ever heard of Bad Girls Club? No. Bad Girls Club was where they essentially took like the most rowdy kind of whores on MySpace and put them locked them in a mansion together and just fed them alcohol with no objective.
Yeah.
And it was basically just like, how do we get world star level fights between like kind of hot girls like throwing ashtrays at each other.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
I'd watch.
And yeah, she would tell me, she's like, oh yeah, it's like experimentally like evil stuff that that's like
the Stanford prison experiment.
Exactly. It's like Mengele.
What was the Stanford prison experiment?
What?
You never heard of the Stanford prison experiment?
No, what's that?
That's like go-to psychology 101. That and Phineas
the most
Gage.
famous psychology experiment.
They just threw people in prison and
they simulated a prison in the basement of some like a dorm or whatever, but it was like they gave half the people the responsibility of prisoner and half the people responsibility of guard.
Yeah.
And just from that simulated hierarchy of power, the people changed and they completely they started coming up with more rules. The guards started kind of becoming authoritarian.
Yeah, so theoretically the people in the positions of power acted evil. But I think it's come out since then. That was like the most popular experiment. It's never been replicated, and they found out like through the logs of the guy, I forget his name, but he actually pushed them to be more evil. So it was not a good experiment.
Yeah, what was that fucking guy's name? He's a very famous name.
Yeah, like,
and then I remember
with a Z or something.
Yeah, it's not Sapolsky. Sapolsky is a behavioral.
It's not Lipschitz.
Behavioral guy, but
no,
Lipschitz. But it's something like that.
Yeah,
and I remember he was under a lot of fire, and then he was like, I remember seeing later in school there was a series for
Philip Zimbardo.
Philip Zimbardo.
Yeah,
and I thought he went to like prison for this, whatever. And then he was a part of like a PBS series where he talked about psychology, like Bill Nye would.
Yeah,
anyway, but yeah,
he was the most cited psychology professor, I think, of like the century.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of how big that.
Yeah, that's how big it was.
Find out it's fucked.
Yeah,
that's the thing about all this shit is like you always find out that people fucked with it somehow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why you're supposed to replicate it 1,000
Right.
billion
Yeah.
times. We just don't have the patience for that.
They need every single college in America to do it, and
Yeah.
then we can do it. That'd be awesome, like the West Virginia.
Yeah.
prison
We could do it
experiment.
with comedians.
Oh my God.
How quickly would the prison, like the guards, start doing bits like, "Hey, now that I got you in here,
Yeah,
can I
that's
run
a
this by you?"
Mr. Beast video.
Yeah.
That would be
When-
the most annoying experiment on the face of the planet.
Yeah,
But yeah, the replication of something definitely needs to happen. But
yeah.
it just sounds nice whenever Stanford does. Oh, Stanford did it. They got
Well,
to
yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's still just some jackass behind the thing.
Well, that's the whole thing with the replication crisis too. Is like they want good sounding results. Like a result that said people, acted this way is way better than people are like nice and chill. No one wants to hear that.
Nobody wants to hear that. And
Yeah.
nobody wants to fund that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's
Yeah.
like all of these it's all done out of colleges pretty much, and they're all for-profit industries. And so they need to produce things that are catchy so that everybody
Yeah.
goes, oh, that's where I want to go to school and spend
Yeah.
$2,500,000.
And the professors are like, I need to make money. I need to fund my research.
Yeah, I need my
whatever.
lab to stay
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Dude, I remember in college, I was like a petroleum engineering major, and one of the professors got a big grant to do research on what was
I think we both thought that.
Yeah, because we're both babies.
on like figuring out what was causing all the earthquakes in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And when his research started pointing towards the oil and gas industry, the funding got pulled immediately.
That makes
Oh,
that's
so
fucked, but yeah.
gross, dude. Also, we've been doing this show for a year and a half now almost.
Yeah.
We have never been able to finish one topic in the entire time we've been doing it.
But isn't that a good sign?
How do we
Isn't that-
finish it?
Yeah, I mean, we're flowing naturally,
Yeah.
but the original thing I wanted to ask, like, what was it to be like? The reason I brought up my friend was because they would film them beforehand so that they got desensitized to the presence of cameras and they would start acting more naturally. So what I wanted to ask you was that a process that they used with you, and how weird was it to be so constantly filmed?
So I was not on a show that was like The Bachelor where you like live on the premises or whatever. So it was not that I was constantly filmed, but it was like when you are in that environment, they're constantly filming you for like, several hours.
Right.
At
But you're
first,
going on dates like this, right?
yeah. And I remember the first date we went on that was filmed. It was like a little stilted and awkward at first, but then you start to forget. And then you start to have like a real conversation with this person.
Right.
And I think, I remember on the date that I went, there was only one point where they like stopped us partway through. They're like, "You're doing good. Can you ask this particular thing?"
Uh-huh.
But like, apart from that, you sort of forget that they're
Really?
Did your parents meet the girl?
No.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they watched. My mom watched a little bit of it with me, but like she's very uncomfortable with the idea of me dating. I don't think she like wanted to, but maybe she did on her own.
What, she's uncomfortable with the idea of watching you date, or the actual just concept?
The
of you
concept of
dating?
me dating. This is another
But
thing
she
in the
just wants
brown
you to
community.
get married right away.
Yes, yeah. It goes. Yeah, it's a thing. It's just like you go from like not having a girlfriend at all to just immediately getting married, and that's how my parents did it.
Yeah.
They got
And they
arranged. and
figured
stuff.
it out.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, we dated when we got engaged."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like they literally don't want you to talk to women
Yeah.
until you graduate college and then immediately get married. It's
But
like
I were your parents like cool with you like dating?
I
though?
was afraid to tell my parents I had
Oh,
girls
yeah.
that were friends.
Yeah, me too.
Like we used to have a friend in the neighborhood, and we would go over to her house, and her mom would cook for us, and I wouldn't tell them I would go over there. I'd lie and say I'm somewhere else.
Yeah, with the boys.
Yeah, I'd be like, no, I'm at Drew's house, rather
Yeah.
than whatever.
Damn. My mom
That's-
was just like, keep the door open. I'm like, all right, you're gonna hear me fucking.
Yo, shout out Barb, dude.
You could have girls in your room.
Oh yeah, the door's got to stay open. But I lived in the basement.
You
And so
lived
you
in
would
the
just-
basement?
Yeah,
And so you just have quiet sex in the basement.
not always so quiet.
When's the first time you had sex?
15.
15,
What's
Yeah.
the first time you had sex?
22.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What about you?
Yeah, I was being like 17, like
Yeah.
right as high school ended.
I think I did it too early, and
Really?
for the sole purpose of not being the last one. Everybody in
That's
my
a good
friend
reason.
group was freaking
Really?
getting very early into it.
I used to think I would wait till I got married. There was a little
you-
while in my life I was like, all right, maybe I'll like meet someone And then I realized that was dumb and gay, so I stopped.
Did you used to be super religious? Also, I had a question for you. How is this? You said you've been doing the show for a year and a half. How has this show changed in the Grant and Thelonious eras? I'm curious.
I think we're more regimented.
So much better now.
I think Grant and I are more regimented. Thelonious was really good about booking comedians because he works at a club.
Yeah.
So he would always.
Did he work at Broadway back then too?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he would always have comedians that I didn't know coming, which was very helpful.
Yeah.
Grant is better on the mic, I think.
Oh.
Grant's
but when it comes
funny.
to organizational stuff, I'm a piece of shit with a stick.
I think all comedians are. Me and Thelonious weren't great at it either.
Yeah. It's tough because I really I don't know. It could be so cool to like get like really wild guests, and like you're a great guest because you have like comedy and other stuff.
Yeah.
But like just comedians sometimes just like
a little dry.
man, we're really scraping.
Thelonious is really silly, which is also good.
Yeah.
Grant is very funny, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily silly.
Depends how hungover I am.
Yeah.
How hungover are you right now?
Not at all. I'm trying not to drink for a little bit.
Oh, any reason why?
I went on a little bit of a bender and just got, I don't know. I think after a while, you kind of just get bored with doing all the stuff.
Yeah.
Did you drink last night?
I did. I'm pretty hungover.
You went to that party?
I went to, I didn't go to Veronica's. I went to 2 other comedian birthdays in Brooklyn. And I mean, I went to my friend's place before. Yeah, I got pretty hammered.
Really?
Yeah, I just like needed to get hammered, I think.
No,
sometimes you need to do that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it builds up and you're like, man, I just need to.
But the thing is, I also did it the week before too. So I was like, why? I don't know.
Maybe it's a weekly thing.
It really do be a weekly thing.
But fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're feeling it, I think you got to just kind of like let your mood decide, you know?
Yeah.
Because nothing's worse than just being at home and being like, damn, I wish I would have.
Right.
know?
But I wish I didn't need to in the first place. And maybe I can't like force that. You know, I think part of it is like the spring and the sun. I'm like, it's time to drink again. 'Cause I didn't drink it all this winter.
Yeah.
I took a couple months off.
Oh, interesting. That's
Yeah.
what I
So
drink
you're
the
a bear
most.
coming out of hibernation right now. Hungry.
Yeah.
I got that dog in me,
You need a
dude.
little honey.
I have never, since I started drinking, done like a 3-month
Really?
sober thing.
Could be good.
But then I'm like,
But
nah,
you're good at drinking to where you don't go overboard. I've never
might
seen
be it.
you hammered.
I've
never seen you shitty.
If I'm taking shots, it can happen for sure.
Yeah, but like you've seen me really shitty, maybe once or twice.
Only once that I remember.
Yeah, I've never seen you shitty.
Yeah, I think the last time I remember getting like, you know what it is tequila for me is the one that, and this is,
That's what all the sluts say.
yeah, it's just like what, I mean, it's so like, it's probably not true, but I just like,
No, it's true.
2 times I've almost gotten into fights. I was drinking tequila both times.
That's whiskey with me.
Something
dude.
about
Wow.
that.
Same thing.
I don't have like a single alcohol that's like I've had a bad experience on it because like
Have you ever
every
been in a
single
fight?
alcohol I've had a bad experience on.
Yeah. Like I don't drink. Well, there was a long time I didn't drink whiskey because it was just the first thing that made me throw up.
Yeah.
In my bathroom at home after me and my cousin just drank a bottle of whiskey together watching TV.
Yeah.
And I think
That's awesome.
That's the best way, I think, to have your first throw up is with your family doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because then you learn your limit. And then that way you don't learn it. Nothing's worse than learning your limit while you're out in public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to learn your limit a couple hundred times.
Yeah. I still
Before you really
learn.
like, I feel like I have a grasp on it now.
Yeah.
No, that's a lie too.
Yeah.
I'll have like 10 beers and be like, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, I'm toeing the line. I feel like you have a good relationship with alcohol. It sounds like. I feel like maybe we don't.
Mine's very unhealthy.
I have one to where I don't feel like I need to stop. If that makes sense. Like I've never been like, okay, you got to cut it off.
Oh, multiple times in my life. Yeah,
Really?
I've had. Yeah, dude, I went to AA for a little bit. Yeah.
Did you really?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, did
I
you?
mean, well, I don't know if that's the problem.
You're like, hey,
Well,
me
no,
too.
only because I'm very interested in it right now.
Oh,
Because
dude.
I kind of think I want to start. Well, I've talked to Mike early about it. He's a big AA guy. He's been in the program
cool.
for like 5-6 years, and I've always wanted to go just to see what it's like.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I can't say I like AA itself. I like the principles of it. I don't like the meetings and the vibe. But I
really?
can't do it. I was thinking about it this week because have you guys read The Artist Way?
No.
I was thinking about it because I started to read it, and like a lot of the stuff that she talks about in terms of spirituality, it actually, she said she started her artist journey or whatever when she got sober too, but it made so much sense because a lot of the principles she talks about coincide a lot with AA, and that's what I thought was so interesting about it. It's like when you actually look into it, there's a lot of depth and interesting stuff in the spirituality element of it that I think is so interesting. But
who wrote that?
AA or
no. The artist
Julia Cameron, some lady.
Some lady
sounds
who
like,
went to AA.
Sounds like she has a similar. Do you know who Anne Lamott is? She wrote
Bird by Bird. Yeah,
which is one of my favorites.
I haven't read it.
Dude, it's fantastic.
Okay.
But very similar trajectory of like she was a writer and then and she was good and she was drinking a lot and then she got sober and it kind of changed.
That's exactly what happened to Julia Cameron apparently.
Yeah, I think there's really a big thing about like facing normal life that opens up people's ability to really see the full spectrum of things.
Yeah.
Because like when you're drunk, you are specifically shutting things or any type of, you're shutting down different peepholes and opening other ones. Yeah. Whereas the full expanse of things from sobriety, I think there's an element of that maybe it's just like a more grounded way to view the world. But that's just a very messy hypothesis that I have now that I've been sober for 5 days.
You know what I'm trying to sober up from is data. That's my new thing. Too much, dude. I think I'm just trying to get less data in my life.
Yeah,
what's going on?
I have too much data, dude.
Yeah, like input,
dude. I the other day I was literally I was checking my steps and my heart rate at the same time. Yeah. And I was just like, what am I doing here? I don't need this. I was checking how many steps I'd taken. I weighed weighing myself is a pretty good one. And then I was just on Instagram, reel after reel after reel. And it's food and it's your nutrition. And it's just I'm not using any of this.
Bro, we're not meant for all of this sensory overload. We're this fucking dopamine bullshit that we get all the time. Too much. Yeah.
You guys should read Byung-Chul Han.
What's that?
He's a German philosopher from South Korea.
It does not sound German at all.
South Korean. Okay. He wrote this little pamphlet about the burnout society.
Oh.
But really, you should just listen to the Philosophize This podcast
Dude,
about it.
I used to listen to that.
It's great.
Yeah.
That guy does a really good job. Because the actual philosophical treatises are just, really absurdly dense and written to confuse. And it's so pretentious and bullshitty. But the summaries are often much easier and better,
digestible.
But he talks about this. It's there's just an excess of everything, of stimulus, and it leads to depression. It leads to your body and mind and soul being exhausted from this constant thing.
You know what it is for me though is I feel like the constant data and like reels and social media and all that, it keeps my mind from wandering.
Yeah, this is his other thing is vita contemplativa is you have to be able to, you need the space of boredom to actually come up with new things.
And be creative, yeah.
Exactly.
And we don't allow that selves anymore, which is why most of what people talk about now is just their experiences.
Yeah.
As opposed to hypothetical stuff?
Yeah, or observational stuff about those experiences, seeing those things from a different angle versus just repeating the thing and finding a way to make a reference to something.
Are you talking about specifically in terms of comedy or just more broadly?
I think in most things, most of the things that you see on TikTok or Instagram, that's why reaction videos are such a big thing, is because you want to have a reference point. You want to understand what is being talked about.
Yeah.
And if you're being shown and then what's being talked about is what is shown.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is all this feeding on its own thing.
Yeah. It feels very safe and it's just there. It's not.
Yeah. And then you're also being told how to react. That's why people like reaction videos is they don't even have to have their own reaction.
Oh, this sounds so dystopian when you put it like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I've watched a few reaction videos. It was someone reacting to a Bill Burr bit. And I remember I was I love this bit. I want to see how he reacts. I want to make sure he loves it too.
But it's a more advanced type of laugh track, really. Because if you think about the laugh track, that is laugh now. Laugh tracks used to come if you were filmed in a live studio audience, there would be a sign that said laugh now, applause now. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
And people do a lot in comedy. There's this very common trick of you laugh after your own joke. And I've talked about it with Momo and he's it's part of the tools of the trade. And it is.
Oh, he does that.
But I don't like it.
Yeah.
For it just doesn't come naturally to me. But
especially if you lean on it.
Yeah.
If you're doing it after every joke.
Yeah.
But there are certain jokes where I think if it's not apparent you can use it, or if it's something that's so hard to laugh at, you can get the laugh started.
Like deliberately laughing. Yeah, I've never thought about that. I feel like I will laugh at something naturally if I find it funny, but like to deliberately laugh at something, how do you even do that?
Well, I think it comes out of a nervousness of like the waiting for people to laugh.
Yeah.
It's like a way to jumpstart their reaction.
Yeah. I will laugh at my own jokes sometimes, but I really try to hold it back.
Yeah.
Like I try not to be the first one.
I prefer that as a reaction in someone I'm watching, but I really do see it as a different strokes thing. But I think that's where it comes from. Is you're leading.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the clips of Friends? It's like Ross is a psychopath.
Yeah.
It's just Ross is a psychopath. It's like if you take the laugh track away from Ross, he's just an unhinged, like fucking loser. He's like, my sandwich?
Yeah,
my sandwich? And nobody's laughing. Everybody's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I think about that in terms of like maybe why people like single camera sitcoms now too, without the laugh tracks and stuff. It's just like a whole different type of like acting, and people want more like realistic stuff, I guess.
I've always wondered this single camera thing.
Yeah.
What
is
that
an
mean?
example of that?
Single camera?
Yeah, like what's a show example of that I might know?
Like literally like The Office, Master of None, anything that's not that doesn't look like it's filmed in front of a live studio audience. That's what single camera is.
Yeah, but why is it called single camera?
Multi-camera is like filmed
is...
in a soundstage with like multiple cameras that don't move. Single camera is like, a camera that like follows.
But they're not using one camera.
No, I mean they might not be, but
but the feeling of the camera's existence is as one thing versus a chopped up thing.
Versus like multiple angles on a soundstage. Yeah.
Like the perspective, the scenes all occur as if they're in one fluid motion versus chopped up.
Also, it might be one camera that moves in like that moves angles and like,
Yeah.
I don't think you have multiple cameras.
I'm trying to think of like Modern Family, for example.
That's
a single camera.
Yeah.
But like
most sitcoms nowadays are not.
Maybe you aren't shooting
multi-camera.
Different angles, but you cut away a lot. There's like,
but if you think about Friends, they walk into the camera.
Yeah.
They come into the scene, whereas the other ones, the scene is moving with them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like The Office, if somebody walks into the office, the boss's office, it like follows them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that it's like a fluidity thing. But I also just learned the thing 5 seconds ago.
Vishal's the actor, dude. You've been an actor now for...
I've been in an acting program since like kind of mid last year.
Please say Meisner. Please say Meisner.
It is Meisner.
Yay!
Why are you so excited about Meisner?
We love Meisner.
Really?
Yeah, because we had David Drake come on and he was talking about how crazy Meisner was.
Meisner said,
I love the techniques.
Like Meisner, the technique, or Meisner,
like
the
some
teacher?
of the presence or centering. I don't know what they call techniques where you're like slapping yourselves or like. That's what I've heard.
We
about
did the
Meisner.
little game where you say like, what is it? You say
repetition.
A sentence?
Yeah.
You say repetition.
But you're trying to reflect the person's
behavior.
your interpretation of their delivery.
Behavior. Yeah, it's all behavioral.
Yes,
and that's interesting.
he's not playing.
So I was going to make a point about that. I've been listening to The Courage to Create. Maria's been like telling me to listen to it, and it's this fucking psychology professor talking about the importance of creativity, whatever. It's written like 50 years ago, but it's still very relevant now. But like one of the things he was talking about was like Americans being over concerned with behavior as opposed to other things. Like European schools of psychology are not as concerned with like studying people's behavior and like other things. There's like Gestalt theory and whatever, and Americans are all like, we need to study the behavior. But Meisner was an American dude, and he studied the behavioral aspects of acting and stuff, and that's why I think I'm just ranting. I don't know if this made sense, but I'm just telling you what's on my mind.
Maybe they're more about like the cognitive philosophy of an actor rather than like the physical behavior. Is that what you're saying?
What?
I just threw out some words. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Maybe because I guess
I
like
do that all the time, baby.
Cognitive philosophy.
Yeah, there it is. Sorry.
Like as opposed to like Strasberg, who is like he's
the method guy.
Yeah, basically. I think the method. It's weird. I think the method like is like basically anything that's an offshoot of like Stanislavski. So there's Stanislavski And then the three kind of offshoots were Strasberg, Meisner, and I think Stella Adler.
Okay.
And like Meisner was all about the behavior, and Strasberg was all about the psychology. You know, he's all about like getting into like.
So getting into the what parts of this character come from where, and how do they?
Yeah, and how do I like use my own experiences? And
okay.
Meisner was more about like. I like it because like instead of like relying on your own experiences, a lot of like the emotional preparation involves like daydreaming and stuff, and like creating stuff, and then reflecting and making sure you're tuned to the other actor's behavior and working off them. I really like it. It's very keeps you present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying is that I've heard like of a Meisner technique of like the slapping the body, because that's what Julian was telling us about. Who's he's a musical theater guy. But it's about getting yourself kind of out of your mind and into the physical feeling of your body, so that when you get into the scene, your reactions are more natural because you're not thinking about them because you're in the presence of.
I guess I haven't done the slapping thing. Maybe that's
you haven't graduated to that.
I haven't graduated to slapping my knees yet. I just do that in comedy.
Yeah.
Makes you more present in your body.
Yeah.
That's the secret, dude.
Did he say what school he went to, or like how long he's been?
No, we didn't get we were just talking
He's a
about
Meisner guy, but he went to college for musical theater. So he's been doing
David Drake.
No, Julian.
Oh, okay.
I think David just took a couple of classes.
Yeah.
Before he was like, yeah, I'm not an actor.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, I could play Julius Caesar, but that Julius Caesar would be a lot like David Drake.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, that was
He'd have a lot of Dave in him.
Yeah.
But that's good though. I think like you'd want to bring your own spin to it because like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're playing as Julius Caesar, I don't think you can bring 2020 regular guy to it. You know?
Right. You have to bring a little bit of yourself.
Or maybe you can. Depends on how you write it. Now, speaking of which, you're working on a pilot or a movie?
Pilot, yeah.
Okay.
My man came prepared with all the questions, dude.
Thank you.
That's not my function. I'm here to interrupt you with a joke.
No, it's good. I like it. Yeah, you said you were going to start one too, right?
I have an outline for an idea I really like.
What's the idea?
Okay, so hear me out. This is
don't steal this. Barb.
Steal it, Barb. It's the 12 Labors of Hercules.
Yeah.
So
you told me
what
this
is?
No.
So like the Hercules
the cartoon?
Yeah. Like the story is like essentially one of the gods like made him go crazy and he ended up like killing his wife and kids.
Oh,
and
oopsies.
to atone for
Megara?
I don't remember. I don't remember the names.
Meg? Wasn't that Meg from Hercules?
Megara.
Yeah.
So hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Oh
hot.
my God.
Very hot.
I am so sexually attracted to so many 2D figures.
But to make up for it, he was given 12 labors that were supposed to be like impossible tasks that he had to accomplish.
Oh, okay.
So like killing Cerberus or whatever, the dog.
Yeah.
The Hydra is another famous one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The Golden Fleece, was that him or was that Jason?
No. But there's 12, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like,
why is there always 12?
I don't know.
What is another thing
probably
that's 12?
because
Apostles, Jordan Peterson's Rules for Life. The main staples of life.
Rules for dating my daughter.
Yeah.
But there's like, so for example, like the first one was a lion and he like tried to shoot it with an arrow, but its skin was impenetrable.
Ooh.
So he had to find a way to like corner it in a cave and use it like a stick. And then like he was supposed to skin the lion. It was impenetrable. So he had to like use its own claw. And it's just like a bunch of like interesting things where it's like essentially he's given 12 labors and he has to use his like cunning and strength to accomplish all of them. I wanted to write like a more modern version where it's like a guy for whatever reason has to accomplish 12 things.
Yeah.
12
12
an open mic
impossible
comedian
modern things. Taking a shit without looking at your phone.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
An open mic comedian writing 12 dick jokes.
Yeah. But I was like
God.
looking up.
It seems pretty possible if you've ever been to a mic.
I was looking up like crazy New York City news articles and trying to like base them in that. Like there was a guy in Harlem who like had a tiger in his apartment because he just like bought a tiger as a baby.
Yeah.
And now it's an adult tiger. And like
the tiger was a baby.
Well, when
he wasn't a baby.
No, yeah. some
he grew up with a tiger.
Tiger dealer sold a tiger to a baby. But it's just like, it was just in his apartment and then like eventually someone had to come get it. But like, I would love to write like a story where it's like, okay, you have to go into that apartment and like get something.
Oh, I like that idea. That's 12. A good idea.
There's other stories where like there was like some reason New York City in like 2007 just smelled like maple syrup and nobody knew why. And it was just like a section of town that just every day for weeks smelled like maple syrup.
Oh, that's magical.
And it
you
ended
get to
up,
wake up in Candyland instead of piss and poop world.
they should bring it back.
Yeah, dude. Because Singapore does this thing where they spray the whole city.
Oh, wow.
With essentially DEET, which is a neurotoxin, in order to make it so that you walk outside any time of day and there's no bugs.
Yep.
Why don't we do that with like the car air freshener smell? So that when I go down in the East Village, it's not like, oh, piss.
Yeah.
Everything good about Singapore happens because it's so small, I feel like.
But it happens because they're an authoritarian state.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
both.
it's just it happens that a lot of the things the government does is cool, but the second it's not cool, it's going to be really not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember my buddy moved there for work. He was like an expat there, and he was like, "Dude, it's the safest place. It's incredible. Nobody does, it's just like this is
unless you're criticizing the government."
And then COVID happened. And he's like, "This place is bullshit. Like if you're walking with 3 people on the street, the cops will come over and break you up. Like you cannot walk next to each other." And so like I saw him kind of flip on what his thoughts were about having such like a safe government. So yeah, I think it's just you enjoy it until it's no longer. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to write. But
my question for you about the show is like, is it going to be a mini series if it's just like 12 things?
It would be
like
12 or 13 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that though. I like things that end. Instead of just keep turning into different remakes and fucking.
I love the like regular guy in a magical world.
Yeah,
like, breaking from reality.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm trying to figure out the rules right now. Like, is there gods? Like, does he communicate with gods? Does he like gain powers throughout this? Because I love the video game thing where whenever you beat a boss, you like get something.
Oh, that's great.
You have like a power.
I think if it sounds fun and interesting to you, you should write it the way that sounds most fun to you. Like it's the same thing with comedy. Don't put pressure on what it should be. Do what you want.
Well, I agree. I'm doing what I want, but I'm trying to figure out those.
Right.
I think in the world there has to be limits that he has to work within that make the challenge, add to the challenge. So that's kind of like the outline I have right now, and I'm trying to write the first episode. And what I've been trying to decide is, does he? So I have an opening where he like meets a woman, like he's kind of like this like monotonous guy, like every day is the same, nothing matters, you don't have feelings for anyone. Then he meets a girl and like falls in love, of course. But I'm trying to decide, does he wake up and like she's gone? Is she dead?
Or does he kill her?
Or does he kill her? Because that's the actual story. Yeah. And it's like maybe out of like a drunken stupor or something. But then who comes in? Does it literally like I'm thinking maybe she's like a goddess,
Oh.
And he didn't know.
Ooh.
And then
or maybe you play on the whole thing like, did it happen? Is this real? Is this imagined? Whatever. And then he ends up in an asylum at the end. It's all a dream.
The total cop out is like, he was crazy the whole time.
Maybe the most annoying way to end anything is it a dream thing?
It was all a dream. That's a very 90s TV show thing where they just write that one crazy ass episode.
Yeah. Although in Princess Bride, I guess it's because they set it up as a story before.
Yeah.
But that's like one of the greatest screenplays / movies ever.
Yeah. I've never seen it.
What?
I've heard it so much and it just sounds like a movie I don't want to watch.
Yeah, it's because it's not very adulty sounding, but then you watch it, it's really
what is it, a
charming.
love story?
Yeah, I mean it's like a happily ever after type. The prince.
I get that movie mixed up with Bridget's Diary or whatever.
Bridget Jones' Diary also slaps.
Those are crossed in my head.
I've heard it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Is the same girl in both movies?
No, it's I think Robin Wright.
Very different.
Yeah, I don't know why those two are crossed in my head.
Blonde women.
Blonde one.
Oh yeah, both blonde white ladies.
Yeah.
So basically the same movie.
Doing a British accent.
They're both British.
Renee Zellweger does a British accent.
Oh, it's Renee Zellweger?
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love...
America's Sweetheart.
You ever see the movie she did with Jim Carrey?
No, what movie?
It's where Jim Carrey has like multiple personalities. Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh no.
Dude, so funny.
Really?
Yeah, because Jim Carrey, him and his wife is like cheating on him and he's just kind of like a dumb guy. And he doesn't realize he has like triplets that are like 3 black kids. He's like raising them as his own. It's like Anthony Anderson and like 2 other guys. It's just so funny.
Well, what's the one that Dane Cook did that has something and something?
Good Luck Chuck?
No, maybe?
Good Luck Chuck is
so many good J.O. scenes. A lot of J.O. scenes on that.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it like every girl he dates, the next person that
is their husband?
Is their
Oh,
husband.
okay. I heard about that one. Yeah.
And then he
yeah.
meets Jessica Alba, and he's like, I can never because I love her.
Yeah.
Oh, but what did they fall in love at the end?
Yeah, of course.
Dude,
Yeah.
Dane Cook really dominated the industry for
Yeah, for a couple years there.
It went straight to his head, literally. Have you seen his head?
No.
Oh my God, dude. Dane Cook's new head, not a good upgrade.
Is it like an
really?
HGH head? Is that what made it big?
I think what happens is when you booze and do testosterone supplements, it just kind of all goes to your head and chest.
Oh, yikes.
He was always kind of like an intense, like, I don't know, something about getting those like rom-com movie roles just never, it never seemed like, he kind of seems a little grungy. Like he was good in, did you watch Waiting?
Was that him?
He was in the kitchen. He played one of the
okay.
guys in the kitchen, like a gross kitchen dude. And I was like,
Okay.
that is perfect for him. Kind of kooky, kind of gross. But like him being like the romantic lead, it's like, I don't know. He's no Ryan Reynolds, you know?
I don't know. Employee
No
of the
Matt
month.
McConaughey.
Employee of the month.
Oh, don't get us started about
I love
Matthew
that. The
McConaughey.
reconnaissance. People forgot about that.
Dude, I just watched When Harry Met Sally for the first time.
So good.
Have you guys ever watched it?
No.
Absolutely. The
Pretty good.
The best rom-com, I would say. Well, top 3 for sure.
Better than Love Actually?
It's-
Wait, okay, yeah, no, Love Actually is a pretty good one.
is La La
5
Land
great
a
rom-
rom-com or no?
I don't know.
Which
No,
one?
La La Land. I guess it's more of a drama.
I didn't
musical.
watch it.
It's good. I mean, yeah, I would say it's good.
What have you acted in?
Nothing.
Oh,
I
really?
just met a girl
Well, I
who
mean,
said
like-
you were acted in her short.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
What the hell?
like
we did our research, dude.
you really do be doing the research. You're like Nardwar out here. Like,
Yeah, that's why I was so taken aback. It's because we did the research.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, my friend's short. I did a short with Thelonious that our other friend Adam directed the other week. It was about like a dude stuck in a bathroom stall. It was called Stalling. We played Brooklyn lawyers. I was also pretty hungover for that. I really got to stop showing up to Sunday things hungover.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is going well.
Yeah, I guess.
How were you? How was your Brooklyn lawyer?
Dude, it
persona?
was all right. I think I was a little, since I was hungover, I was in my I was in my head a little bit. I wasn't as loose as I could have been. I was in a suit. I was in the bathroom, but I think between all the takes we did, I think we probably got a good take in there.
As a guy from Wisconsin, I'd say that's pretty good.
That
Yeah.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
Why didn't he crawl under the stall?
Why didn't who?
Not a
crawl in-
thinker.
In the stall, he's stuck in a stall.
Oh no, like he's taking a shit. So but people are hounding him. He's not stuck in the stall.
He's taking shit.
He's hiding out from his boss, I think.
Oh yeah,
No.
as one does here on Radio Free Brooklyn.
Nice.
Can I get some ad reads in?
Yeah.
I'll send you the script. Oh, ads.
Yeah, I got a quick ad read. You're listening to Radio Free Brooklyn, independent, listener-supported radio. You're listening to Bottom of the Barrel Morning Show on Radio Free Brooklyn. Thank you for listening. Your support keeps us going. If you do want to support, Radio Free Brooklyn's mission is to provide a free and open platform to our community and promote media literacy, education, free expression, and public art. We rely primarily on donation from listeners like you. Every dollar helps us stay on the air and allows us to continue our work in the community. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so all contributions are tax deductible. Please support with a monthly pledge or a one-time donation at radiofreebrooklyn.org/donate. Pretty good. I saw you taking a photo and I started stumbling on my reading.
Oh,
I got
sorry.
nervous.
Don't worry, I'm not putting it out to the public.
You can put it out wherever you want to put it out. You can put it out. The other thing is we were talking about how you do the front facing tech guy stuff, and you got laid off.
Yes. I need to make a video about it. So don't clip this yet because I got to make well, we were going to do the sketch this week, and I think that's probably
the sketch. Can we talk sketch?
Yeah, we can talk the sketch.
We'll talk the sketch whenever Grant gets back.
Yeah, I
'cause
think Grant would enjoy it.
I want to pitch him on it.
Grant would enjoy the casual racism.
But there is like a whole. So there's this like thing on social media I've noticed where it's like people will do characters,
Yeah.
and I don't think you're doing a character necessarily, but you are like niche focused on tech stuff.
Yeah, not always, and especially not on TikTok. I try to branch out, but like Instagram is like really pigeonholed me. I'm kind of stuck in it, maybe.
Yeah, you're stuck in it until you work your way out, I think.
Yeah. It's a process for sure.
But it's like, was that something you were like, I see an opportunity here, so I'm going to dive in on it? Or was it something that just kind of like ended up like this? I'm working every day, so this is on my brain, so I might as well just put it out
Yeah, I
there.
think it happened pretty naturally. Like when I was just starting to make content a little bit, like I don't know why. I think I was just like thinking of ideas, and amongst all the things that I was thinking, there was some stuff in the software engineering world, and those happen to like overperform, I guess, or do particularly well. So then I
think anytime you have a niche audience,
yeah,
I think it'll do well.
Yeah,
because it just like catches that algorithm, and it's like, all right, this is for software engineers. We got a lot of these guys on Instagram.
Yeah,
and it almost also seems like those guys are easier to identify on Instagram because I don't know. I think it's like they're always on their phones. They like certain things.
Yeah.
They also are usually like high earners. So it's like, I don't know. There's like a lot of reasons that they would want to show people content for them.
Yeah. And it's also, I think like when people try to like, pop off doing comedy, that's like a very saturated market.
You think it's saturated?
Yeah, I'd say it's very oversaturated. But if you're like making comedy about a specific thing, it's a lot easier for you to like.
Okay. Yeah. We were just talking about how Vishal RIP got laid off from. You want to hear something funny?
Yeah, about him being laid off.
Yeah.
They're moving his team to India.
And they're like, no way this guy would survive there.
Ain't that a bitch, dude?
Isn't that? I mean.
So we were gonna make.
They're outsourcing it, right?
Yeah,
it's not like the people who are here are moving to India.
They did say they were like, you can move to Bangalore if you want to move back to Bangalore. You can have your job there. I was like, no, I'm not fucking moving to Bangalore, dude.
They said back to Bangalore. Did you live in Bangalore?
No, I'm not even from Bangalore. Yeah, I was this fucking Asian guy. He just assumed.
Back to where you came from, the Asian guy being racist.
Yeah, in his like Asian accent.
Yeah.
Why don't you go back to Bangalore? That's so funny.
But yeah, I wanted to do a sketch with Hamza this week where it's like they're like, "Oh, we're moving you back to India." I was like, "I'm Indian."
Yeah, you were outsourcing your job to India. It's like
we're Indian.
We're Indian.
Yeah, but you're not in India, which is much cheaper. Yeah,
it's like we'll do the accent if you want. Is that what you
keep
want?
My job. Yeah, that's kind of a trip.
Yeah.
Dude, I think it's the beginning of the end of American tech, dude.
That was your hypothesis. Yeah.
Is like if Google's starting to move jobs to India, I mean, who's next? Well, also Google does have a really big presence in India.
Yeah, only
already.
Bigger, yeah.
And their CEO's like, I think he's Indian.
Yeah, maybe this is Sundar Pichai's long game, dude. Like, I think become the head of Google to move jobs back to India. He promised the village.
His village is just balling right now. They got VR.
They've got those money guns that rappers have, shooting money in the air,
shooting rupees.
Damn.
But yeah, I don't know, dude. I worry what it means because if the hope is that they move those jobs to India and they just do a bad job.
That's
so then they got to bring them back here.
I mean, anything that makes Google less powerful, I think, is probably good. No offense. But
fuck them.
Fuck them. I don't know if you're still trying to get back in there, but anyway, that's broken up. But I don't know. It seems like what it is probably the ability to train people and the technology to make things easier has gotten to the point where they don't need to pay American prices anymore, right?
Yeah,
so it's just like,
and I do think the quality of engineers at Google in India will be similar to the quality of, because like they will still have their hiring bar. So I don't know if that will happen necessarily.
Yeah,
I think like if you have like Indian contractors, like they might not be good, but I do.
Well, one of the things that usually comes up is like communication is usually difficult, but if you get a good manager, it's not going to have a problem. Like there's going to be some guy who's proficient in both languages, fully understands processes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like honestly, at this point, if we touched up on our Hindi, we could probably
touched up. You never have spoken Hindi.
What?
I don't know Hindi at all.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. You speak Tamil?
Yeah.
Yeah, I speak Hindi.
You do?
I would have thought
I
Urdu.
think it was Urdu.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Urdu and Hindi are essentially the same language.
Okay.
They're written differently.
Your words.
They're written differently. But like I can watch a Bollywood movie and understand it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was like that.
For the most part.
You're more Indian than me.
I can't understand the songs.
Oh, why?
They're written more poetically. Usually, and they're using like different words that I don't know. But like everyday conversation, I can.
Wow.
I can handle.
Oh, nice.
I gotta learn. I don't know Tamil, and apparently, I don't know Hindi because apparently, the millions have beef with Hindi. I guess
I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
everybody's got beef with somebody.
Yeah,
India is a very beefy place.
Yeah, India.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Cowie, not beefy.
Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
They're anti-beef.
Yeah,
anti-beef. Very cowy.
Yeah. Why do we have a different word for when it's food? I don't know.
Maybe it's like a separation of church and state thing.
Yeah.
Like you need to have a different idea so that you
chicken's not like
chicken.
that.
Yeah.
you further your because we don't respect them. We fucking hate chickens. We put millions of them in the same cage.
Dude, the most depressing thing I found out was whenever it's like, they kill chickens in like these like Tyson farms.
Yeah.
You love this one.
It's the cheapest way. What's the cheapest way to kill something?
Slit its throat. I don't know.
You would think so, but that takes time. They put them all in a box and just close the lid. That's so fucked.
It's so fucked.
Like, that's how little they care about these chickens, is they treat it like a fucking box of cereal. Like, it's just like, that's essentially what it becomes, is like a box of chicken cereal.
Yeah, it's pretty net. But if you think about how much chicken we eat, it's like, well, we got to do it somehow.
Gotta get it done.
I had chicken wings and then an entree of chicken at the Olive Tree a couple days ago.
Oh my God.
And the second I got done, I went, oh, that's bad. Like, I didn't need that.
Yeah. We should not have as much access to meat as we do. It feels crazy. Like even 200 years ago, you'd eat meat once a week or whatever. Well, I think you were saying that this week, right?
Yeah, I agree. I do think you should get like, I don't know, how many pounds of meat come off of one cow?
Probably a lot, actually.
I should know.
I feel like it's like 100,
pretty
200.
heavy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but I feel like that's what you should get per year. You get
funny.
200 pounds of meat. You
Okay.
get one cow per year.
But like Plains Indians, that's all they ate was bison.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like the Comanches, 100, like not 100%, but most of their diet was meat.
Oh,
and
wow.
like to the point where they wouldn't even eat rabbits because they had so much bison. Because bison there were no natural predators other than humans. And then Americans came and found America.
Yeah.
And the bisons all went away. But yeah, like that was most of their diet was just they got enough nutrients and protein and calories to just live off of plus the pelts and the stuff.
I feel like a bison's probably like 300, 400 pounds, no?
They're fucking huge. I've seen
so
them in
big.
person in Yellowstone, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And the fact that there
Hold
used
up,
to be
Jesse.
Yeah, Jamie.
Jamie.
400 pounds from a bison.
Wow.
Yeah, but back in like the 1700s, like when they were roaming the plains, there was millions and millions of them.
Wow.
And so like their entire life was built around the bison and they would move around the plains with bison.
Wow. You ever think about like living outside? You ever walk around New York in the winter and be like, wow, people used to like not have houses and live here. That's crazy.
Dude,
I lived outside for 60 straight days.
You did?
Yeah. I was like, I did a gap year program, and the longest that we were ever not inside was 60 days. And I didn't shower for 60 days either. So.
Holy
that's
shit. Where
crazy.
did you slept in your car?
No, I slept in tents.
Wow.
Dude, I went to Alaska, and their museum there, did I tell you this? They have an incredible thing about just surviving Alaska and how people used to survive in Alaska.
So wild.
And dude, they have
The value of fat. You learn the value of fat.
and like
Wow.
all the animal skins and all the tools they would build. It was so incredibly interesting. And I kind of breezed through it, but that's
What were the takeaways?
It's not a bar.
yeah. But it was just like the winters there are so brutal, but people would survive out there using like, land, like, being able to like block wind, keeping them under the ground, building like little structures, and then like, of course, animals.
Do you guys think you would have survived like 1,000 years ago? Do you think we're like,
there's 12 people that would survive 1,000 on Earth right now that would have survived.
you think, universally we've all gotten this soft?
Yeah. Like Bear Grylls is like the one guy. that
David
could
Goggins.
probably-
But you think
Goggins.
Bear Grylls would stay in a hotel in between shoots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, 500 pounds of meat from a cow.
500
Isn't that
pounds?
crazy?
Yeah. They're heavy. Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I think
I knew they were heavy.
Yeah.
I think that's how much you should get in a year
500
per
pounds,
household.
one cow.
One
That's
cow.
a pound of meat per household. Yeah. That's a pound of meat per day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more than enough.
Yeah.
One cow a
but,
year.
sometimes you want a little bit more.
Sometimes. and then sometimes you just got to toss it.
Yeah. It's crazy how much you take that for granted. Like I was talking to Sean Millay a long time ago, and he was like, he had taken a class on vegetarian and veganism in NYU because that's
course.
the type of classes they have there. And he was like, I was like, I mean, yeah, but we're made to eat meat. We're omnivorous creatures. Like meat is a part of, that's how we have canines.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, but every meal. And I was like, oh yeah, I do eat it almost every meal. It's pretty
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Sometimes I'm like, my meal hasn't finished until I eat meat.
Oh yeah, mine hasn't started
Yeah.
until I eat meat
Yeah.
or
It-
eggs.
I used to be vegetarian until I was like 16.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think I could that was like cool with that.
Yeah.
I feel the same thing. Now I'm not satisfied until I have meat. But like back then I was just eating fucking fries.
It's probably the crack they put in the meat now.
Yeah.
They put that steroid juice in there. You're craving it.
Dude, that's why fucking kids are. You see 16-year-olds, you're like, is that an 80 or not 80-year-old? Is that a 32-year-old pro wrestler?
Wow.
So much fucking steroids and antibiotics.
Yeah. Dude, it is very apparent because like me and my cousins, when I go to Pakistan, I'm like twice the size of them.
Yeah,
really?
Dude.
It is
your
crazy.
Life, you were bred on estrogenics.
Yeah.
Everything in your system is just decreasing your estrogen, fucking jacking up your testosterone.
Americans are just gigantic people. Like my cousins in Pakistan were like maybe the same height, but I'd probably have like 50 pounds, 60 pounds on them.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
You got that invader body.
The U.S. Olympic body. Oh, dude, you want to hear my new pitch of something that I'm working on in my head that I probably won't do?
Well, yeah,
Like
but do we ever hear his pilot?
Oh, yeah, let's hear your pilot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. To take it back to the thing. Okay, here's the log line. You guys will find it funny. Can you tell I'm processing?
Mm-hmm.
It's an aspiring influencer gets villainized on a reality dating show, and to rehabilitate his image, creates a new docuseries starring his traditional Indian family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This guy's like a psychopath.
Dude, honestly, the funniest thing, I was thinking about that this week. You send your thing out for feedback, and then you hear how people really feel about you. They're like, I really like the show, honestly. Just that main character guy really sucks. He's such a whiny bitch. I was like, well, I don't know. I think he has some redeeming qualities. At a certain point, I just got to like, yeah, I know. I meant to write him unlikable, okay?
Yeah, that's the fear of sending things out, right?
Yeah, that's
it's
autobiographical.
Like the parts that you put inside of especially if it's like very, very closely related to your life.
Yeah.
That's why I stick to whimsical, baby. I just make that shit up because
I think that's the way to do it.
Out what people think about me.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also don't think I've done anything interesting enough to write about.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's
not
like
being brown in Oklahoma. I mean,
yeah,
if you don't want,
that's a good episode.
You know what?
Maybe.
Well, there's a lot of like brown fish out of water stuff in America.
Yeah, that's the whole premise
like.
of Master of None. It's just a brown guy existing.
Yeah, trying to navigate.
It's always about how you do it, though.
Yeah.
There's never been anything new. There's just new kind of angles to the same thing.
Yeah.
You guys ever watch that show Fresh Off the Boat?
With Eddie Wong?
A couple episodes, yeah.
No, never.
Yeah.
Just
pretty funny.
I liked it, yeah.
Yeah.
How important is that to you guys? Like seeing that, like these new levels of representation. Like,
I will say that there were a couple of things where it made me very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think Harold and Kumar is one.
A monumental moment
for like a bummy brown
example,
guy.
Yeah,
but like that was the first time because that guy Cal Penn was in Van Wilder.
Yeah,
and it was like cool. There's a brown guy in it, but he was like the most stereotypical brown guy, like super thick accent.
He was essentially
trying to get laid.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to muff dive in America. Like that's like the whole his opening line. He's like, I want tits.
He does the accent.
It's like overdone.
Do you think he regrets it?
No.
Yeah.
I think it was just I think he had to.
Yeah, and you got to do that stuff to.
And now
push.
he worked for Obama. He like has like great roles now.
He's gay.
He's gay.
Yeah.
Is he gay?
Yeah, he turned gay.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, it's crazy. You can get so smart, you just become gay. It really shows you what the other side might be. They might be onto something.
Those guys are focused.
Yeah.
Those guys know less distractions.
Yeah.
But I think it was I think it was just one of those things where it's like he had to be the guy that like got his foot in the door doing whatever other people wanted.
Right.
And then kind of was able to like navigate and get better roles.
Yeah.
I think Aziz is the guy that people said he's like, I'm pretty sure Aziz like denied a bunch of roles. He's just like, I'm not going to do those.
Yeah. Do the accent and stuff.
So like his first big role was Parks and Rec, and it was like, he crushed it.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Like a lot of his comedy too, his stand up, like none of it really talked about being brown at all. It was just like
a little bit. He talked about his parents coming here and stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was dating.
Yeah. Most of it was dating
and love.
and yeah.
Yeah. What are you laughing
Yeah.
at?
Well, like now, and maybe it was different back then, but like when I haven't watched a lot of his stuff. But it's like now, like people talking about dating is just such a trope.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I was laughing.
He was like, yeah. I mean, he kind of was like the first prominent guy. But I remember seeing something
Talking about dating? No.
I think
brown guy.
As far as new age dating goes, like he's the first guy to like cover apps.
Wrote the book, and
he wrote the book Modern Romance, and he like, I don't know, kind of assessed it in a different way than other people had. Rather than like my dating stories, he was more just like, this guy literally just Googled Jewish and my zip code to find the woman he loves. You know, he has that story about his friend who like he went to their wedding and he was like, how did you guys meet? And he's like, we met on a dating app. He's like, oh, what did you like search for? Like, you know, like what did you put in? He was like, I put in Jewish and my zip code. He's like, that's all you fucking did? He's like, that's how I find Wendy's. Like,
that's funny.
But yeah, I don't know. I think he was able to do that because of what Cal Penn.
Kind of like, it's all stepping stones, you know.
I think it's stepping stones. And now people are like more interested because Aziz did a good job with Master of None. Yeah. That it's like now more people are like, okay, well, these are interesting and funny and relevant. So it's like, I don't know. I think it's a process, you know?
Yeah.
Like anything else.
But you get like jazzed when you see it.
I get jazzed. Like I really want to see that new movie Monkey Man.
Oh yeah.
I want to see that too.
I think it looks dope. And Dev Patel is another guy who like kind of got his foot in the door young.
Yeah.
He played like a drug addict or whatever in Skins.
Oh. What do you think about Slumdog Millionaire in retrospect? Do you think like good? I mean,
I think it was a good story.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any like me and my family went and watched it together.
Yeah.
We were
just
excited.
the fact that it was directed by a white guy though. Like, I don't know.
I don't
Does
really
that bother you?
It doesn't bother me, but I'm just like thinking about it now. Like, was he the right person to tell the story? I enjoyed the movie, but like, I'm just thinking about it in retrospect now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wonder who wrote it.
I think probably the same guy.
The same
like
white dude?
Yeah. Dan, what's his name? Not Danny Boyle.
Who wrote Slumdog Millionaire? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I remember that guy. Vikas. So it was written by a brown guy.
Oh, okay. That's
British
good.
drama film.
Dub.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a dub.
Yeah. That's a dub that he
or a
wrote.
V.
It's a Vin.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, and maybe this is my own internalized racism to answer your question.
Same.
I feel like back in the day, I almost used to be upset or jealous when I saw that because the industry makes it feel like there's only a limited number of spots for people of color.
Right.
And it was all competitive, you know? So when you saw Hassan Minaj win, you're like, oh, well, that means I'm screwed. You know, he took the spot. But now I think society as a whole, we're able to see that like it's not a zero-sum game, and these opportunities can help other people get onto the stage. So I'm more happy for it now.
Yeah.
It can be that stepping stone instead of the
competition.
Right.
Yeah, and you kind of see these people put each other on too, which is nice. Like you see like Hassan's openers have been like he's had a lot of like
people we know,
open for him and stuff, and it's like you get that credit, and then that, you know, kind of puts you up, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is why they should make Allah Makes Me Funny Part 2. That's bring back the that's what the you were talking about, the like combined tours. They used to all be based on like race or something, right?
Yeah.
Like Kings of Comedy was like the
Black
funniest black comedians.
Yeah, in
blue
suits.
collar comedy
blue
tour.
collar comedy tour.
White.
But now it seems like it's just groups of friends.
That's better.
What
That's
is a modern
should be.
tour? What is a modern tour that
It's like TikTokers.
Oh yeah, I
like-
guess they don't
like,
call,
I
they don't
know-
have like a name for it, but yeah, it's like
It's
the homies.
Yeah, it's just whoever has the largest TikTok following has
Sean Demetrius and Austin.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But also like that Trevor Wallace guy.
Who does
who's done it
who does
with-
he go with?
I don't know specifically, but I know I've seen him on tour with like other people.
Sean.
before. Yeah, probably also Sean.
I know Sean opened for him or something, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
But they need to, I don't know. Like, I guess Infamous is one where it's like Andrew Schultz's opener is Mark. I'm pretty sure
Gagnon.
on that time. Well,
Mark who?
actually,
Gagnon.
yeah.
Oh.
And Derek Poston, so maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
Joey
I'm
Avery
bullshitting.
also opens for him, I think.
Yeah.
Bay Area guy.
Damn. I was wrong.
No,
Bring
it could be multiple people.
Bring back Allah Made Me Funny, dude.
Yeah.
Allah Made Me Funny. Me, Grant, Vishal.
Dude,
Hey, if you guys are right, he did make me fun.
There you go.
You know?
I've been hanging out with so many muzzies since I moved to New York, dude. I'm ready to convert. You guys have so much fun.
We have, well,
Yeah, you guys drink a lot.
Yeah. That's facts, bro.
dude, the thing is we all come from communities that are super tight because we're like a major minority and we're like hated by a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think like everyone growing up had super tight communities. And then when the comedians moved here, they're like, oh, we want that. We need
That's
that.
really nice.
So they kind of like created it.
I
Yeah.
like that. I like being the white guy in those scenarios because it's fun to hear flack.
Yeah.
Like it's fun to like be the odd man out and get shit for it.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like, I have nothing to.
Yeah.
It's not an actual threat.
Sweet.
I know it's very different for other people's experiences, but like I've been that guy before, and it's kind of funny.
Should we bring Grant to the potluck this year? Is he invited to the cookout?
Yeah.
I've been to some Eads.
Yeah.
Some Eads.
And it was a good time. There was one person at one who like genuinely did not like that I was there.
Really?
And that was
Comedian?
Yeah, but not for long. Because they're not funny. They don't have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't like that I was
Tell
there.
me off camera.
It's also like, I think that is always coming from a place of like they're projecting something onto you, because growing up, if a white person came to the mosque, everyone
It was with a
very
sign.
Yeah, Brother
Well,
Derek.
Brother Derek
Yeah.
was always very welcomed. Like, I guess like whenever like
Well, that's what I would have expected, because like, and that's what everybody else was like, listen to my struggle.
Mein Kampf?
The book is being written. But it's like, that's what I would have thought is like, hey man, if I'm here, how can I be the bad one?
Yeah.
If I was invited to this and I'm like having a good time here,
Yeah.
am I the guy?
Yeah.
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 Well, did you say like when white people were at the mosque, they did feel welcome or no?
We would try to make sure they felt welcome.
That makes sense to me, because
Yeah.
it's like,
I would have thought you were going to say the opposite. Like maybe they felt like they were bullied or whatever by white people in school or something, and then maybe they're like mad at you for taking over their safe space. I don't know.
Yeah,
no,
well,
like,
I think
this guy's a CIA plant.
I
Yeah.
think the safe space thing is more of a new idea. Like, I think the mosque used to not necessarily be a safe space. It was just like, this is where we go to pray.
Yeah.
This is where we see all the people we know. It was never a safe space in the idea that we're like, need this to like be our true selves. Because everyone kind of just like, it wasn't really a thought at the forefront of our mind. You know,
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, we can go here and finally like, I don't know, pray openly or whatever.
Or it needs to be spaced by the virtue of like everyone being alike.
Yeah.
Like it's safe that we're all know we can agree with each other and there will be no pushback or pull. Like I think that's what a safe space is now, is like a place where you can just
Like an echo chamber?
kind of feels like it to me, but
Yeah.
again, it's coming from the white mouth, so it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
But it also is like, if a white person showed up, it was usually because they were curious about.
and that
Islam.
seems like something you would want to welcome, that
Exactly.
people would
Yeah.
naturally welcome.
Exactly.
But I get the defensiveness. Like I'm not saying like what the fuck, but
Maybe they thought you were doing it in an ironic way or something. I don't know.
yeah. But plus it was at my home, so it's like
Yeah, that's true. A nice eat dinner at your home. They're like, Grant, go to your room.
look, I'm watching TV. You know.
But yeah, I don't know. What else is going on? You guys see all those naders? Those tornadoes?
No, not until you scared the shit out of
Yeah,
me.
what the
Dude,
fuck
there's a
was
bunch
that?
of tornadoes in like Oklahoma and Texas right now.
Oh.
Dude, fucking huge. You know what
Did you have to see that as a kid? Like a
Yeah.
bunch of tornadoes? Because
Yeah.
you're in Tornado Alley, right?
Yeah, Oklahoma.
What is that? It's Oklahoma. It's like central Oklahoma. Or it's all of Oklahoma, because I know it splits up to Ohio.
Yeah, so essentially, like, I guess there's two really big like wind patterns in the world, and they meet kind of in Oklahoma.
Oh,
Kansas.
wow.
Damn.
And so like Oklahoma, Kansas, part of Texas, and like that area, and maybe even a little east, is known as Tornado Alley, where you get a lot of tornadoes. So like,
Yeah.
the thing about a tornado is they're very destructive to a very small, like they don't have a big radius
Yeah,
of destruction.
Yeah.
But if they hit you, it fucks
you're
stuff
fucked.
up. So honestly, like usually they didn't hit us, so we would just like go outside. Like at a certain point, you know, it's like moved past you, and you can like go outside and kind of like watch and look, or you'll be like listening or watching the TV. And I was cracking up because I was just thinking about this, because the Instagram was exactly this, where it's like a guy in the studio who's like, you know, we've got a tornado going across southeast Oklahoma, winds at like 85 miles per hour. Make sure you're covered. And they're like, let's go into like Dave in the field. And then Dave is just some like country ass dude in a truck.
Yeah.
We're just like, it's raining like hell out here.
It's a guy who has a truck with sandbags in the back to hopefully weigh it down a little bit more.
Yeah. He's like actively driving around the tornado.
He's
Just-
firing a gun into the tornado to deter it. Go back!
He's
Go
trying
back
to-
where you came from.
He's trying to lasso the tornado out of his truck. It's just like two totally different people.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
so
remember there was a
funny.
while when me and my friends wanted to become that job.
Yeah.
Like tornadoes would come and be like, should we get in the
Lasso.
car and go chase it?
No.
Is that a job?
Should we get in this
Yeah,
Kia
what do you
Sorrento?
chase? Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have a good car, dude. That was the problem. My Honda Accord would just get lifted.
No, you need like a Batmobile.
A motorcycle, dude.
That's the way to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
That is
Ride the
Yeehaw.
tornado.
Yeah.
That's a true redneck job, tornado chasing.
Yeah, I think there might be a teeth maximum in order to get that job.
And it's always, their cameras are always still the shittiest quality.
Yeah, it's because they
video.
spend so much money putting like metal plates underneath their car.
Yeah. Them and their
That's-
dog in their truck. Just dude, that's
What
a-
is that? What
This
is
is
that
so
like
funny.
need to be on to see what the inside of something looks like? We have that with houses. Like all the hydraulic press stuff is like, what does the insides look like? And then
Yeah.
tornadoes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Why do we need to figure out what is on the inside of the tornado? Oh, scary wind. That's what's on the inside of the tornado.
Yeah. Just
Or like the eye of a hurricane.
lifting up a bunch of fucking.
Is the eye of a tornado like a real thing? Like it's really calm inside of it? Or is that a myth? Is that an urban
The
legend?
eye of the hurricane, I think that's a real thing.
Whoa.
It's where it's like nothing is being affected because of the spinning, but I
Right.
don't know if that applies to tornadoes.
I think tornadoes, the eye is much smaller. Yeah. It's like kind of bigger up top and then it like kind of cones down into a very small eye.
It's pretty crazy that tornadoes are real. Like this doesn't sound like a real thing. When
They
you,
are
like-
pretty wild.
Yeah.
And they only last that's the thing is like a hurricane, people will be like, okay, in a week there's going to be a tornado or a hurricane here.
Yeah.
Evacuate the area. Tornadoes are like, it's storming tomorrow. By the way, your area might get hit. And they last like 7 minutes on
Wow.
the ground. Like they kind of form in the air and then they'll touch ground for a little while and then they'll go away.
What do? You just like haul ass out of there?
No, you get into like every
bunker.
house has like the safest room to be in, or so a lot of people build shelters that go underground, but essentially you would go to a room in the center of your house
Yeah.
that has no windows. Those are the rules because it's like windows can break and glass will fly around and slit your throat or whatever.
like a witch is in your apartment. Yeah.
And just close the doors. We used to. For us. It was our bathroom. And so we would just put a bunch of blankets in the tub and hang out in there, play
How
cards.
big was your
That
tub?
sounds like a fun time. Though,
Yeah,
in a
it was
way.
fun 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It was a fun.
Like it's scary, but also it's like the bunkers in England
Yeah.
was like almost like a communal thing when the Germans would come to and drop bombs on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were they like connected bunkers or was it only like per house?
I think
it-
there was people had their houses, but there was also shared areas. I don't know. You ever see this?
Did you just make World War II sound fun? Like,
Well, there's a great book called Tribe by Sebastian Junger where he talks about how in those times the suicide rate was almost nil, despite it being so
Wow.
scary, and it's because of the community effect of we're all in this together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
It's
think we just all need like a good war to bring us together?
I don't
Like the
think
end of
that's
Watchmen?
necessary.
Yeah.
I don't know if you look at the
It would help.
the rates of patriotism after 9/11, like you could say yes, but it seems like a simple answer.
Yeah.
That's why we need an alien invader.
Right. Like Watchmen. Yeah. Yeah.
An alien invader would unite the whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but can't we all just go bowling?
Yeah, but then
I'd be
it's who's going to win?
Damn.
Right.
Team USA is going to win.
USA
God damn
is
it!
gonna win. Probably at bowling.
Probably definitely a
Yeah.
bowling.
I guess the Olympics kind of brings people together in like a competitive but like fun way. Similarly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if have you ever read Blood Meridian?
No. Good.
Oh, fucking! It's probably it's my
Best.
favorite book I've ever
Really?
read, but it's really intense.
Is it?
but,
Is it a tough read?
Once you figure out the language,
Yeah.
it's honestly like hard to read anything else, but
Yeah.
it takes a little bit to figure out like to really. You almost need to get a fluency for it.
Oh.
But
I'm still working on Goodnight Moon, but
yeah. Well, once you do that, jump to McCarthy. But that whole thing is like it's about how there's a metaphysics of violence.
Oh,
So like
whoa.
kind of intertwined in our history is this pull towards destruction,
Yeah.
and conquering and all that shit. But if you believe in that, then
Is that true though? Is that like it's the same thing with the Stanford prison experiment? It's like I was listening to a podcast that talked about it and like how we believe that humans have a tendency towards like carnage and violence and whatever, but like that's not necessarily true, and like that's maybe a myth.
I think we have a tendency towards survival, and I think sometimes those things can cross patterns, or paths. But I don't think it's our gut reaction.
Yeah,
but I think it happens.
We have
a lot.
bloodlust in us.
I think we have bloodlust in us when it comes to survival.
Right. If you're like
to threats,
if you're about to die, you'll fucking
or if you feel a threat.
Up. Yeah.
I think you would do that. But if somebody showed up with a bunch of food for you, you wouldn't be like, I'm going to kill that motherfucker, you know?
Yeah.
Like a provider. Maybe.
I don't know. I think it's all based on the fact of scarcity. And scarcity will always require being somewhat zero sum, but the idea is that we can evolve past that to where we can always think of a new way to solve scarcity.
Right. AI. We're going to live in a communist utopia pretty soon.
Yeah, but even where AI is right now, there's already a power scarcity.
Yeah.
And there's already both like in physical power, but also in who has the most advanced thing.
Yeah.
And the fear of what they will do with that thing. Like it's the new nuclear question of should we build it? Because like the thing with AI is the same problem with the bomb is, will this destroy the atmosphere, right? Or will this take over and kill us all because it finds out that we're not useful to it? I don't think you can stop. You'll never stop any of that because there will always be the fear of what will the other person do.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where scarcity and like the idea of violence is always so essential, because people will always probably be ruled by the idea of like some fear-based prospect. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about that this week. I was like, why do scientists, it seemed like, have a unquenched desire to just keep innovating and doing this thing? But it makes sense that they're doing it as a competition thing, a fear of like what the other will do.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it's pretty crazy that like we haven't blown the world up.
It's pretty crazy that everybody's not like, hey, what if we all just chilled out?
That would be nice.
You don't make any more bombs, and I won't make any more bombs.
That's what they did, basically. Yeah. Right?
But nobody will ever stop, dude. Because you don't know what that third guy who's being a little quiet might be making a bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe he wants, but I don't know. It's tough because in America, you don't realize how much you have and how much suffering is necessary for that. Right?
Yeah.
To have it the way that you have it. Because like even your phone, our phones, we have 3 of them pointed at us right now.
Yeah, shit.
They should cost $30,000. If everybody a part of the making process was, I mean, it's a real number. I can't remember where the article was from. It might have been the Washington Post, or the Wall Street Journal. But it was like if everybody a part of the process was paid and insured, your phone would be $30,000.
Shit.
Yeah.
Right.
But then it's like
you take a loan out on your iPhone.
But also then it should be like my phone should be part replaceable and I can upgrade it like a car.
Yeah. I mean, that's where
they make these things to throw away.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Some kid had to mine a fucking cobalt mine and die at age 7 so that I can toss this iPhone in 5 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's not good. But anyways, we'll talk into it and do a front-facing camera and see if we can gain.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
complain about my cushy tech job.
Everybody's going to keep doing that. Like, we're not going to chill on needing the next iPhone.
Yeah.
And that extrapolates to we're not going to chill on nuclear proliferation.
Yeah. What do you think the solution is, if there is any?
What do I?
Yeah. What do you, Grant Moore?
Hand to God, on the mic, on the record. And if it doesn't work, we kill you.
I think
Blood Meridian.
I think some type of like large solar flare that creates an electromagnetic pulse that wipes out all technology.
Wow.
So that we're all here and we have to figure it out without the ability to overextend ourselves to other parts of the world.
Yeah. You don't think we'd be able to build that shit back up though pretty soon?
I think no, it would be incredibly violent right away, but then after a while we'd have to figure it out, like almost like a restart.
Yeah.
And then that'll go and it'll get right back up to the point.
Yeah.
It's like what we do. It's prairie fire. Like I think essentially that's the history of the world is something gets an advantage that just takes it away like a horse, that just like you have no control over it.
Yeah.
Even though you're the rider, and then eventually it all burns down, and then something else new comes back from that thing. Like, like the Big Bang, massive explosion. We don't know what came before it. Probably just another massive explosion.
Yeah.
Oh.
How would you solve it? That you put MDMA in all the water.
Yeah, that might be. I don't know if I have a solution. I'm just thinking through it. I really don't know. I mean, I'm just grateful that shit hasn't blown up as much as it could have in the last like 50 years. Yeah, it's surprising.
But that's also a testament, right? Like that's.
Yeah, again, we're like better than we think we are. We give ourselves a lot of shit.
But it's kind of like the Mexican standoff, right? Where it's like a bunch of like nukes just pointing at different countries, being like, all right, if you're cool, I'm cool.
Yeah,
right.
That's the mutually assured destruction part of it.
And so it's just like, as long as nobody, fires one, I think everything's, but that's kind of,
we fired two.
Yeah, we fired two, but that
and
was
we keep testing.
That was the first two.
Yeah.
It's like somebody had to see, now we all know.
Now we all know.
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. And now we all know. So now it's just like, okay, those things are for real. And now nobody gets to do anything.
You know what? Actually, I just rethought it. I think how we solve it?
How?
Laughter.
Oh, nice.
The best medicine.
Comedy.
Dude,
art.
We were talking about books a second ago, and we mentioned Modern Romance, the Aziz Ansari book. Have you read it?
No.
Have you read it?
Yeah, a while ago.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
He talks about one of those things where he kind of gets into the dating app thing where it's like we're kind of like it's like too many choices cause you to like never make a choice.
Oh yeah, analysis paralysis.
Yeah, that's paradox of choice.
That's an AA thing.
Analysis paralysis?
Yeah, they love analysis paralysis.
How so?
Yeah.
Because
an AA. I thought you were saying AI. I was like,
no, AA thing.
Yeah, I wanted to get back to AA too. Yeah, I wanted to say something.
I need to get back to AA.
I was going to say something.
No, it's just a part of their program of like if you overthink like how you're going to do it and how you keep going like how am I going to make it tomorrow? That's why it becomes a part of the day by day thing.
Yes.
Because the more you overthink about it, the more your anxieties will come to you. The more you'll fall on the way that you have always dealt with those anxieties, which is
drink. And a huge part of their thing, they talk about self-will, which is the same thing of like using anxiety and trying to control the situation as an act of self-will. Whereas you should stop trying to control things, and that's why you use alcohol to try to control things, whatever.
Right.
But it's all about surrendering to whatever your higher power is.
Yeah.
And taking it day by day.
Yeah, isn't that one of the? Because there's like 12 tenets of like
the 12 steps. Yeah.
There's the 12 steps, but there's also 12 concepts that each step is part of. Let's say honesty. Blah blah.
Yeah, there's some shit like that.
But one of them is like one of the first things is like admitting your powerlessness.
Yeah, that was that's one of the steps.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I remember South Park did an episode about it, and it's like weirdly like religious.
Oh,
well, AA is very religious.
Yeah, I didn't know it was like a
12 steps, 12 apostles.
Yeah,
12 labors.
12 labors, baby.
I would say one of my icks with it was like how religious it was, but there's ways to make it more spiritual than religious for you.
Yeah.
I was also going to say, if you want to learn about it too, the podcast that John Bernthal does with Shia LaBeouf is so excellent.
Those two names just being pulled out.
So it's John Bernthal's podcast, but he has Shia LaBeouf on.
Yeah.
And this is after, he kind of went through all his shit.
Yeah.
And he's in recovery. And they have such an honest conversation about his transgressions and whatever. One of the most beautiful conversations I think I've ever heard.
Really like Shia LaBeouf. Honey Boy was a destructive movie for me. I never cried so hard at a movie in my entire life. I think he's like a really...
Is that a recent movie?
2018.
Okay.
Did he act in it too?
Yeah, he wrote it. It's about his relationship with his father.
Yeah.
And god damn, I've never been like so
I gotta watch
moved by a movie. And it's like this is from the guy who's this is from the guy who is from Beans. He wasn't Beans. Was he Beans?
Holes.
He's Holes and Even Stevens.
Even Steven, that's what it was. I'm like, I can't believe Even Steven just tore my heart out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why his new success has like been so likable is the rebirth of him.
Yeah. Like you're talking about like in the last year, you're talking about like, Fury and whatever else.
In general, like he's come back and like, now your personality is your product, unfortunately. But the good part of that is you get to see guys like him who like seem like they've made a lot of mistakes and come back from them, but those mistakes have kind of allowed them to be this whole person that's like down to earth without being pretentious. And
I would listen to that podcast.
I'll give it a listen.
I also remember, man, when he was drinking, he did that incredible interview with, I think Jimmy Kimmel, where he was just talking about like one of his nights out. He went to go see Cabaret. And like they were doing it in like a cabaret, and he was like drinking there, and he got it's so funny, dude. It was pretty wild.
It was on the Tonight Show.
It was on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. He was awesome. I remember seeing he got a full back tattoo for a movie.
Yeah, wow. Okay. That one's a little bit.
And it was just like, dude, this guy doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And then the movie ended up like kind of bombing.
What was the movie?
It was the one where he played a Mexican like gang member.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was almost kind of doing brown face.
It's called The Tax Collector or something. Apparently it wasn't that good.
Oh, did he do it with John Bernthal? That sounds like something John Bernthal would do.
He might have been in it. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that guy, it's just so funny that like that John Bernthal's like this like kind of meathead tough guy, Punisher guy. But.
Dude, apparently one of our friends ran into him on the street, like barking for the shop. Yeah. I forget who it was.
Was it Zach?
Was it Zach or Noah? Maybe Noah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he said he was nice. Like, he was like, yeah, maybe I'll come back.
Yeah.
Just fucking lied to his face.
He's an actor.
How can you lie to Noah?
I do it every day, baby.
One last question. What are your goals for 2024?
I don't know. I think I want to try to like maybe I'm going to tour this summer. I'm going to go on the road this summer, just do shows in different cities.
Nice.
I want to continue to act more. I want to like work more on my pilot. I want to like trying to write like a one-man show thing. So I have like a scratch doc that I sent to this guy who I asked to be my director, and he's taking a look at that. And then I mean, keep doing the same stuff. Yeah. Honestly, I would like to get a comedy manager, but like I'm not pressuring for it, but I just feel like it makes things easier.
Yeah, when you have somebody advocating for you.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Oh, I don't fucking know, man. Just keep figuring it out, brother.
Yeah. I think mine is. I said I wanted to get to an hour, but I think I need to establish a process.
Yeah.
I think like what you're talking about with Mike McPartland, how he has like a process he sticks to. I think that for me would make me really happy if I figured out like a good, just like regimented routine.
Yeah.
I think that would really help. But I don't know.
I guess later in the year also get a job.
Yeah, I'm on the get a job train too.
Oh
as
shit!
well.
Yeah. I just got one. No, not to brag. Not to brag.
I want your job, dude. Fully remote.
Fully remote.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing. We like to leave some time for our guests to plug anything that they have or shout out socials or anything. So go ahead.
Follow me at vishal.kal/house comedy, HAUS comedy. If you're in New York.
Oh yeah.
Grant's on a show.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
go.
Hamza was gonna be on that show.
That's how I got it.
Yeah.
Just figured out how I got that spot.
No, you were
just
on
kidding.
before, but I replaced you with another brown guy.
Damn it.
Yeah. Come to those shows.
Please.
House comedy, HAUS comedy.
Comedy.
House
Instagram.
comedy.
House.
Yeah.
Dude, I went to the house place to get coffee the other day.
Oh, Brooklyn Art House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Without me?
Yeah.
Pretty fucked up.
No, you were there. You forgot. Grant?
Pog of War on Instagram. Ludwig von Poop on Twitter. I'm getting back on Twitter, baby.
Back on Twitter.
Get fucking excited about more Ludwig von Poop tweets.
Ludwig von Poop is dominating the Twitter game. You can find me at Biryani Poppy on Twitter, HMZ.AH on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will talk to you later.
Thanks, Vishal.
Bye, Vishal.
Bye, Barb.
Hell yeah.